Welcome, everyone, to Jimmy John's Field. Just about underway here in this outstanding matchup here today. It's the visiting Utica Unicorns and the home Eastside Diamond Hoppers on the USPBL Network. Jeremy Otto alongside Brendan Shabath to bring you the call on our My Michigan TV pregame show. We welcome everybody watching in the stands here today, and a little bit of a rare Wednesday game. We'll have a few more here in the month of August as we approach the playoffs, which are quickly approaching here. You know, obviously, in a 4-team league, you play each other a lot, but at the same time, the games are dwindling in terms of arching up in the standings.
Yeah, it's getting to be crunch time, and every win is starting to be important. And we saw a team that we're going to see tonight, the Diamond Hoppers. They picked up 2 wins over the Beavers, who were in second place last weekend. Those 2 wins could prove to be very important towards the stretch of this season. Let's say the Hoppers rattle off 5 in a row, and then the Beavers lose 3 out of 6. You know, then we got a really close race for second place. We've been talking a lot about this Beavers team chasing the Unicorns, who we'll see tonight in first place. Losing 2 last weekend certainly doesn't help. Luckily for the Beavers, the Unicorns also lost 1, but it's getting to be crunch time. It's starting to be fun. We've got close between first and second, and maybe close between second and third, depending on how the Hoppers can do this week.
We've kind of talked about the need for pitching to step through for these Eastside Diamond Hoppers. A guy that we'll talk to in a little bit here at our My Michigan TV pregame show is Sam Brace, a newcomer. Spent 4 years over at LTU, then went to the Division I level at UAB. He's been a nice addition to this bullpen.
Sam Brace looked really good in his first 2 appearances. Only gave up 1 hit and 1 run in a total of his first 4 innings. His first appearance had 2 scoreless innings, no hits. He's got that. He's a lefty, and he's got that weird, funky arm angle that, right. You know, we were talking to Ryan Kotke that as a coach you love, and as a hitter it's really hard to pick up on. It's a deceptive delivery. It's really hard to identify and recognize the pitch out of his hand. There's not a ton of velocity, but that deception leads to outs, and who cares how you get it across the plate or at what speed. If you're getting guys out, you're going to go out there and pitch. Hopefully we see him tonight against some of the better lefties in the league, and Drew Glossi and Ari Sakopoulos, but him getting outs like this, if he can keep it up, it bodes well for the Hoppers bullpen.
Alec Brunson, also a newcomer on the side of the Utica Unicorns, still learning more about him, but gives them some depth on the bench as well.
Yeah, they add another utility guy on the bench, which is important, like we talked about coming up into the playoffs. You never know what can happen. We look at a team like the Woolly Mammoths. They lose 2 catchers in the past month. We're not sure when either of those guys will be back, but you know, you need depth just in case, and also they can provide some life off the bench. There's something special and unique about a new guy who hasn't been here all season, and maybe he can bring something or take a different approach or look at something a way that these guys who have been here all year can't anymore. So always adding a new guy can pose some good threats offensively, and just another body defensively.
Well, we talked about Mr. Brace and the fact that we caught up with him earlier. Here's that interview now. Kind of your first thoughts on Pro Bowl? Obviously, you've had some success so far.
So far, so good. I mean, I'm very happy for the opportunity and to be able to be here and perform.
I know you have some local ties, obviously, to LTU. You're from the Peoria, Illinois area. But kind of the unique thing is Lawrence Tech plays their home games here at Jimmy John's Field. You got a sneak peek, I guess, in the league very early.
Yeah, so having that opportunity to play at LTU for 4 years of my college career, I'm very familiar with the facilities and everything. Got to come here, and it wasn't as much of a rush of adrenaline, I guess you could say, to playing here at a new facility and everything. It was very nice to get my debut on a Friday night with the stands packed, but it's very cool to come back to a place that you're familiar to and get to play some ball.
It's kind of interesting as well. There's quite a few WAC guys, Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference, in the league right now, but I guess that just speaks to how good the baseball is there.
Yeah, so, I mean, Donovan Thacker, my teammate, and a couple of the guys, I believe Yachty is one of them, and Christian Lopez from UNOH. I mean, good WAC presence, and yeah, really good baseball, like you said, and yeah.
I guess, you know, transitioning from NAI to D1, how much do you think that helped you kind of make this transition a little bit easier?
Yeah, it helped out a lot where I was able to face a little bit better competition. I did play 2 summers in the Alaska League to help prepare me for that jump to D1. Got to play against a couple of guys from Georgia, Kentucky, Gonzaga, like Ryan Sullivan. I played against him in that Alaska League. But yeah, really good guys, and helps me prepare me for all that.
So like to play in Alaska?
It was amazing. Playing a day game at 7 p.m. and getting home to the host family's house about 11 o'clock and the sun still being as bright as it was as the game started, really cool.
Back live to Jimmy John's Field here today. Jeremy Otto back alongside Brendan Shabat to bring the call. So glad he could tune in on this rare Wednesday game here in August, something you'll see a little bit more as the year goes on. First pitch fired by Andrew Verbrugge at 7:05 p.m. is a ball in the outside corner. So Andy Castro, Drew Galassi, and Ari Sakopoulos here at the top of this lineup here today. Noah Childress, Kevin Lambert, Malik Bolin will bat in the middle with Luis Attilis, Matt Parkinson, and John Hodo rounding things out. 1-1, a fastball at 92 in for strike one. Swing and a miss. Wow, tight curveball there from Andrew Verbrugge. A little bit tighter than you're used to seeing. More of the sweeping 12-6 type.
Curveball has been his put-away pitch, one of his best strikeout pitches this season. Surely today will be no different.
Here's Drew Galassi now, 286 in the average column. He's moved down to this number 2 spot now. Fly ball to right, chasing Schellenbarger back to the warning track. He looks up and it's gone. Drew Galassi with home run number 8.
Drew has really turned it on lately. He's been phenomenal in the past 6 games for the Unicorns. That's his 3rd home run in 4 games. A guy who we saw get hot at the end of last year. Doing it again this season.
That looked like another one of those more sharper curveballs on the inner hands. It looked pretty hard off the hand just watching the replay a couple times. Almost looked like a fastball, but registered pretty low at 76. Maybe that was a misregister. Is that what I'm hearing? Oh, it actually didn't pick it up. So I think it was a fastball. Let's go with that. Nonetheless, nice swing by Drew Galassi and a good way to kickstart this offense. We had a fan ask us before the game here today, hey, who's your pick to win here today?
We did, yeah.
And we're like, the Hoppers are hot. The Unicorns have been better overall record-wise. And he said, well, it's hard to win 3 in a row.
It is, especially against a team like the Unicorns. But we've seen this matchup be fun all season long. Hoppers are responsible for 3 or 4 of the Unicorns' 10 losses.
Curveball dips in for strike 2 here on Ari Sakopoulos.
See what pitch Verbrugge throws here, and this will tell you what he's comfortable with right now. Likely his best pitch, 3-2, trying to recover from the home run.
Walked him, which is not common for Andrew Verbrugge, I think, as you were kind of hinting at there. He normally comes back very strong.
Yeah, he does.
After giving up a big hit or a home run like we saw earlier, but it's a 3-2 walk to Ari Sakopoulos, his 18th of the year. Here comes Noah Childress, a guy who's been hot for a while. I mean, I feel like we just keep saying it. Just been that consistent, now 370
yeah, I mean,
hitter.
At this point, it's almost not even that he's hot. He's just been darn
good
good all season long.
And no surprise, he sees a curveball
Right.
up near his head. We've talked about that before.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
Just gets unlucky sometimes.
Seems like every time he's up, that's a factor. 1-0, fastball high, 2-0. Looks like pretty tough shadows as well for these hitters.
I think the one positive right now is that almost the entire track from the mound to the plate is encompassed in the shadow. As long as it's consistent with the ball coming out of Verbrugge's hand, it's a little bit easier to see.
His face starts in bright sunlight, but then as he goes towards his finish, it ends up shaded, which is interesting. 2-1, poked back, fastball at 91. He's been up to as high as 92 so far. Outfielders at pretty deep depth. Infield back, look for the double play. Change up outside. 3-2 on Childress now. Verbrugge doesn't throw the change up a whole lot. We'll see fastball, curveball. Checks his swing on that one, fading, and the appeal says he did not go. So Sakopoulos to second, Childress to first. So 2 straight walks after the leadoff strikeout and the home run.
Not the start Verbrugge had envisioned. He's had a knack for kind of getting out of, not necessarily getting out of situations, I should say, actually, but just for recovering pretty well from maybe a mistake pitch or two. He's in a tough spot here.
First pitch to Lambert, fastball at 91 by him. Verbrugge pitching in his 13th game this year. It'll be his 12th starts. First in innings pitched. Third in strikeouts in the league as well. The 0-2. Fastball high. First and second with 1 out, and that one just whittled foul there by Kevin Lambert.
Boy, not quite sure how Lambert got a piece of that curveball darting out of the zone. That's a nice fight to at least stay alive.
In on the hands, that one flies to left. Lawler is there for out number 2. Now Malik Bolin will be the last shot here in the first inning, which has already been productive for these Unicorns. Time to check defense behind Andrew Verbrugge here today, brought to you by 3-Dimensional Services Group. Lawler's in left, Porter's in center, Schellenbarger's in right. Rivera and Burke on the corners, Fedko and Pup. Your double play combination here today with Combs catching the pitches once again. First pitch breaking ball outside. One 0 to Bolin in there for strike 1. So a leadoff strikeout, then the home run on a line off the bat of Drew Galassi. Back-to-back walks and a line out has led us to first and second here with 2 outs. And 2 and 1 on Malik. Late kick in the pitch. Just off the plate outside. Last thing you want to do is walk Bolin here with the... If Childress isn't the hottest hitter, the guy on deck might
Luis
be.
Attilas, yeah, that's for sure.
3-1 in on the hands. He's just been a singles machine lately, certainly coming up with, it seems like a lot of hits to set up rallies late in games for this Unicorns team. Big pitch here. Runner moving from second as Bolin K's. So Verbrugge strikes out a couple here in the first inning, does give up a home run and walks 2, but the damage is limited as the Unicorns lead by a score of 1-0. Time to check sponsors for today's fine game. Ascension, Balfour Property Restoration, Budweiser, DTE Energy, Fifth Third Bank, Jarpcom, Jimmy John's, Macomb Community College, McLaren Macomb, McQuaid Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Refrigeration, Metro Detroit Chevy Dealers, Pepsi, Scott's, and UWM. We thank all those fine partners for what they do to make this league possible here today. 1-0 Unicorns. Now time for your Freaky Fast Facts presented by Jimmy John's here today. I Love Lucy debuted in 1951. My grandma really liked that. Mount Everest was conquered for the first time in 1953. Would you climb Mount Everest?
You're talking to the wrong guy.
I don't really like heights either. The first Barbie doll was introduced in 1959.
That's earlier than I would have guessed.
You think Ken was introduced at the same time as Barbie or no? Probably not, right?
I would say, like, I don't know, 5-10 years later would be probably accurate.
Time to check defense behind the Unicorns here today, brought to you by Three Dimensional Services Group. Prototype production proven. It's Bolden in left, Glossy in center, Castro is out and right, Lambert and Sakopoulos on the corners, Hodo and Attilis, your double play combination with Matt Parkinson behind the plate. Catching the pitches here today from Muntaner.
Muntaner has been one of those guys who the lefty arm keeps we've talked about it. Some guys have had splits the opposite way, righty versus lefty. He's been fantastic against lefties this season. Lefty opponents are hitting just 109. That's right near the league best. The one thing he's been so good about this season is the extra base hits. He limits them so well. 4th best in the league. Opponent slugging. He'll give up some contact here and there. He's not going to wow you with a ton of strikeouts or velocity, but he will get outs. He will keep runners off the base paths for the most part.
Slapped on the ground to Hodo. Quickly covers for out number 1. Yeah, had one of his best starts the other day, and he's technically coming off a relief appearance. He hasn't done that all too much, maybe a little bit as the season has gone on, but his appearance 2 appearances ago was a solid start on the 30th of July. 4 innings, 2 hits, no walks, 4 strikeouts. Funny to think we're, already approaching mid-August. I mean, August 10th. I mean, 5 days from now, you'll be mid-August, and then talking about the final couple weeks of the season in September.
It feels like August started yesterday. Like, it feels like just a day or two ago we were like, oh, hey, it's August 1st. You know, now we're getting towards the end of summer.
1-1 low, 2-1 on Blake Porter. The mugginess has left us a bit in the Metro Detroit area. Yesterday, I don't know about down here, I was out of town, but yesterday felt pretty nice where I was. Fortunately, I spent it in the car. It seems like it just works that way, huh? When you get one of those off days, and
yeah,
like every time we're at the ballpark, it's bright and sunny when it comes to BP. We come in here and chug our water and
stay hydrated. I spent most of my day yesterday inside too. So
did you?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Video games.
Here's the 3-2 chopped foul. Yadi Rivera on deck. Pretty much a straight-up defense here against Porter as he whiffs and misses at that one. 15 walks to now 41 strikeouts on the year for Porter.
I think if you look at Porter's game from every side, that's the one thing that you say maybe could be a little bit better, the walks to strikeouts, but he's really been a fantastic five-tool guy all season long. He's been great defensively. He's got speed on the base paths. He hits the ball well. He's got a little bit of pop in that bat, too.
And it's not too often where you can, kind of be the opposite end of, I guess, where you achieve to be a walk to strikeout. But when you're maintaining a 280 average and slugging at a pretty decent clip as well, you got 3 doubles, a triple, 4 home runs, you can live with it.
Certainly, and I think every coach would be happy to have a guy like Blake Porter on their squad. He's such a threat everywhere to some of these teams.
And you just think about it, like, if he's able to get that even a little bit better, the walk to strikeout,
yeah,
where that would put him next.
I love what he poses defensively, too. I feel like any hitter in this league who hits the ball out to center against these hoppers is like, oh, great. Here, there it goes to Porter. I'm not going to get an RBI because they can't tag, or I'm not going to get a hit because he's going to swallow it up if it's within 40 yards of him.
Chopped on the ground to Sakopoulos. Will surround it for out number 3 here in the first inning. 1-2-3 breeze for Moutonnier here. Just what he's done lately on the USPBL network.
I'm all in with HR and Organizational Development Council.
I'm all in with Marketing and Business Development Council.
I'm all in with Operations and Member Experience Council.
I'm all in with CEO Council.
I'm all in with Lending Council.
I'm all in with CFO Council.
I'm all in with Technology Council.
Our credit union is all in with CUNA Councils.
They call me Prospects. Since the day I was born as a diver's watch, the challengers of the world have taught me many things. Life is not a numbers game. It's about challenging ourselves. No matter what happens, just follow your heart. These pioneers drive our generation forward, not by setting records, but by never giving up. Keep going forward. Prospects.
Available at Lucido Fine Jewelry.
Andrew Verbrugge back for the second inning here. Looks like kind of margins will be thin here today with Moutonnier on the mound. And he's not necessarily a guy that's going to go 5-6 for you. Probably 3 or 4 here today. So you never know how that turns out later. But just like anything, the starting pitcher kind of sets that tempo for a sharper bullpen at times going forward. In the first inning, 6 came to the plate for this Unicorns team as Tillis looks at a ball outside. You dug it up. 433 average in his last 10. It feels like 500 at times.
I mean, 13 for 30, it's pretty close.
Now the 2-0. Boy, you can just tell that ball got lost for a minute in the shadows before coming out. They've changed a little bit. Here's the 3-0. Knocked foul. What would you call the pavilion? Is that the right word? I guess over the part of the stands?
The
on the
overhang,
concourse?
almost even the roof, I guess.
That is what you're seeing here going left to right now. 3-1 dashed inside. And he'll walk Tillis in the second. Already the third walk given up by Andrew Verbrugge tonight.
And that's what I was going to say. Attilis, that's part of his success and why he's turned it around in the second half of this season is all season long. He hasn't struck out. He's in the top 10 in strikeouts. He's in the top 5 in strikeout percent league-wide. You know, if you're just not hitting the ball to the gaps or where the fielders aren't, that's going to come around if you can just keep your discipline at the plate, not go down on swings. He's got more walks than strikeouts this year.
Fastball high on Matt Parkinson. Infield looking for that double play once again. Good job by Verbrugge after he homered, or after Galassi homered, and then he walked 2 in a row, all in a row. That one gets by Burke. Look out. Attilis has speed around the second base bag easily. Burke just getting the ball right now. That's what this deep foul territory can do to you. Now he's lurking around third. Kind of baiting into a throw, possibly. It doesn't come.
Well, I think what happened there is Verbrugge made the decision to pick off over at first, and I don't know if he second-guessed himself. It just didn't look like he quite put the full gusto behind that throw over to first and maybe tried to aim it or something to that extent, and that just let it get by Burke.
1-0 high to Matt Parkinson. John Hodo, the bottom of the order, waits on deck. He's the only man not to bat so far in this game. Second inning brought to you by Budweiser. We thank Budweiser for their partnership with the USPBL network. Now the 2-0, the corner infielder's in, popped it up just in front of the second base bag. It's Fedko for the first out. Now John Hodo will come to the plate. It's kind of interesting. There's not a lot of energy in the building. There is a decent amount of fans. They're kind of in the patio spaces, which sometimes doesn't create that buzz, I guess, in the grandstands, which can be sometimes challenging, I'm sure, for these players. You see it in some of the non-public games as well. There's his first slider that dips in for strike one.
I still think the heat is just playing a big factor for these guys, too.
On the ground, nearly hit the base pass umpire. Pup from his shoot top, skipped it. Hodo has speed as well. Look out. It dribbles all the way to the dugout. Attilis scores 2-0 Unicorns.
I think Pup just took half a beat, half a second too long of a look at Attilis, who was guaranteed to score anyways. If you get that ball at short, you just got to go and take your out at first base. And he took kind of an extra look at Attilis, who was already going home. Nothing he could do about that. They weren't going to cut down that run. Take your out and just step and make a throw over to first. He kind of tried to throw on the run, and while Hodo has speed, I don't think he needed to.
That one ripped foul by Leandy Castro here. Maybe this is kind of a move by, I believe it was, yeah, it's Adrian Guzman here today, not Jim Essien, but, or no, they're both here actually. Essien over at first. Guzman at third. Here's the 0-1. Maybe a move by Jim to try to get Lucky going a bit. Hit him at the top of the lineup.
Yeah, I think so. They both, Guzman and Essien, experimented with some lineup shifts last weekend. We saw guys like Attilis and Hodo bat in the top of the order when they've been in the bottom all season long. Galassi did well not leading off, even though he's been a great leadoff hitter this entire year for the Unicorns. And I think that is what it is, just trying to give these guys a little bit of a different look. Maybe that'll help bring around some struggles.
That went in there for strike three, and boy, you just continue to track this baseball, and you wouldn't think necessarily that what is like 2 strips of shadow right now, but it literally shades the ball. You can see it go through again, and then come back towards the plate. And it definitely looked like Castro was impacted by that there.
I think that's why you saw Verbrugge throw that front door curveball 2 times in a row. He saw Castro move out of the way on the first one, and it just missed the zone and was called for a ball. So he went right back to it and said, all right, I'll put this one in the zone, see if you want to hit it. And Castro didn't.
Already K number 3. It's a large one here with a run in. And another one pending at second base with 2 outs. Here's Drew Galassi.
Part of that decision to double down on that curveball to the same-handed hitter has to deal with the eyesight. You see a baseball coming at you, you're like, oh, that's not going to be in the strike zone, and then all of a sudden there's the spin, and it comes back in, and I think another part of it was the shadows, too, using that to his advantage.
Now the 2-0 to Drew. Curveball in. Been using the curveball very heavily so far here today. (3-0). Chucked foul. Obviously does not want to walk his fourth batter here today. And if you're Drew Galassi, you walk him, whatever, with the open base. But you've got Sakopoulos, Childress, Lambert coming up after that. So it's kind of an empty feeling, even if you get by Galassi, who's already homered off you today. In there for strike 2. Already his 4th 3-ball count today unofficially. Comes home. That one lined to Fedko. Little short hop as he plays it in style on the side over to first. And after the 2-out error here the 1-out error here in the second, another run scores to make it 2-0 Unicorns.
Every summer, my family loves to have a neighborhood movie night in our backyard. And with my Chevy Blazer, I can head out and get everything we need for a great night. It has plenty of room for picking up friends, and the available hands-free liftgate is perfect for loading unhandy supplies. It may be movie night, but my Blazer is the main attraction wherever I go.
Lease a 2022 Blazer 2LT for just $239 a month for 24 months. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City.
Make your move with a quick and easy mortgage from Genesis Credit Union. We have mortgages to fit your life. Genesis Credit Union. Visit us today.
Slide into a new home. Work with a local mortgage pro who works for you. Get a cheaper, faster, easier home loan. Find a mortgage broker near you today at findamortgagebroker.com.
Here's a shot of some of the fans hanging out in the Chevrolet Pavilion out there in left field. It's been a pretty popular spot, I feel like, for some big-time hits that have gone out in the recent go-arounds.
Not a bad spot in this house.
Yeah, we're kind of lower here in the press box than normal in a baseball stadium. Gives us an advantage really to track the pitches like we have here today. See what the batter is seeing maybe a little bit closer. I feel like certainly in Major League Baseball you're getting higher and higher and higher in terms of your vantage point where you're constantly having to watch the monitor and such. But I guess the one disadvantage we have, you can't exactly see balls fly out, so we're relying on the outfielders quite a bit to at least track it first. First pitch fastball to Burke off the plate outside. Really nice hitting by Montaner in the first. Went 1-2-3, ground out, strikeout, ground out. Working quickly here, 1-0, whittled to Attilis. Charges for the first out here in the second.
Back to your point about the sight lines, Jeremy, I will admit sometimes you and I will take over for some pre- and post-game interviews for the in-house video board show when our people aren't here. And there was a game recently where I was scheduled to do the post-game interview, and I went down half an inning early, and I did sit behind home plate in those seats right back there, ground level, the suites, and that is a really interesting spot to sit. Highly recommend it to anybody thinking about coming to the ballpark. Try to sit as close behind home plate as you can to see those pitches come in like that.
Line drive, boy, does that have some tail on it as well. Off the bat of Marcoux, Galassi catches it for out number 2. Yeah, so this seats that you see from our center field camera are suites, and then kind of on the left and right side, they're called the diamond tables. So 4 tables that kind of swivel around, and you can kind of spin around and get a table right in front of you too, so that's convenient.
But sitting down there for just a half inning. Now, I did get to see Nick Shaw pitch, who is a high velocity reliever for the Beavers and has one of the best sliders in the league. So maybe a little influenced by that, but I'm still amazed that guys can hit baseballs in general.
First pitch slider in for strike one on Scott Combs. Pretty good start to his pro career all the way around. 4 for 11. Scored a couple runs. Pipes this one to Attilis. He's been busy here early on. And how about the back-to-back 1, 2, 3 breezes by Mountaineer here today. Still 2-0 Unicorns on the USPBL Network.
Companies are competing for talent like never before. With the complexities of handling tasks like payroll, benefits administration, and other HR functions, it's easy to see how a professional employer organization like Tryon Solutions makes all the difference. Tryon empowers businesses of all sizes to attract and retain talent by offering access to top-tier healthcare and employee benefit plans. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
We joined Green Path and instantly felt a support around us.
They developed a plan on paper, and this is how we're going to do it.
The plan that they gave me was something that was sustainable. It was something I could do. It was actually lowering my payments monthly by hundreds of dollars.
Choosing Green Path is a no-brainer.
Andrew Verbrugge comes back on the mound here in the third inning. One more run given up in the second. It was the leadoff walk that came back to bite him. John Hodo slapped it on the ground, reached on an error to Pup, which allowed Attilis to score. Of course, the one-out line drive home run by Drew Galassi in the first is why we are where we are here after inning number 2. It seems like heavy curveballs here today from Andrew Verbrugge.
Yeah, and if you look at it, 3 walks already. He's been behind in a fair number of these counts against some of these good hitters. Really, has to see. Well, we'll see if he uses the fastball more. I think that's what he has to do to kind of get back in this game and keep hitters off balance. It's kind of like the run game in football. The pass isn't really going to work if you don't establish a threat with the running game. You know, the breaking balls are made to be follow-up pitches to fastballs, you know. You want the fastball to be working and make sure hitters are timed up for that, and then you get them off balance with the off-speed.
First pitch to Ari Sakopoulos, curveball away. You do look at his numbers with the curveball. They're very tight in terms of the walk to strikeouts. And he definitely will use it as an out pitch, but he also likes to elevate the fastball when things are going right as well. 2-0 now on Ari.
I think just in general right now, just having trouble finding the zone, commanding the baseball.
Now the 2-0. Fastball away, 3-0 on Sakopoulos. Last thing you want to do is walk this guy. It doesn't get any easier in this lineup. Noah Childress has already walked, so has Sakopoulos so far today. One of the 3 that Brendan referenced. 3-0, fastball, close, but probably not going to get that call as you've nibbled, especially in this at-bat.
I think even a good hitter like Sakopoulos, with just the way this start has already gone for Andrew, is taking all the way 3-0. It seems like he's just trying to pitch backwards to this lineup with the off-speed first and then beat him with the fastball. But you've got to find the zone or get swings and misses if that's the case.
First pitch to Childress. Lollipops in. And you never really know with a guy like Andrew Verbrugge against a lineup that's fairly experienced and has been here for a little bit. Galassi, Childress, Lambert, Hodo, all returning from last year. Verbrugge returning as well. And at this point in the season, I mean, they've seen you several times, even some of the newer hitters. So what goes into his mind in terms of a game plan? Maybe he's really trying to do something different than what he's done with them before. Something to ask, I guess. Pup feeds to second in time. Over to first. Easy double play. Just what the doctor ordered here in the third.
Well, that will help a leadoff walk and being behind in the count to one of the best hitters in the lineup for Verbrugge. But yeah, it's you know, just like an in-division rival or in-conference rival in college or the majors or anywhere, you're going to see these guys more than anybody all season. And while this is not divisions, this is just the entire league, and the best players will be able to game plan for that and around the strengths of their opponents.
Here's Kevin Lambert now. He lined out to left his first time up. First pitch curveball away. Now the 1-0. Fly ball going to hang up there to left center. Got some carry. Lawler and Porter. It's Porter who calls him off, and that is just what the doctor ordered here for Andrew Verbrugge. Leadoff walk to Ari Sikopoulos. 6-4-3 off the bat of Noah Childress, and then the pop out here to Lambert facing the minimum 3, 4, 5 in this lineup. Not an easy task to accomplish. That was your fifth third out of the game, brought to you by Fifth Third Bank. Here today, now time for JJ the Water Boy, presented by Michigan First Credit Union. Once again here today. There's the water, there's the treats. Keeping everybody happy here on another warm day in Metro Detroit.
Always a good and happy exchange.
81 degrees here at game time. It seems like it's been playing up a bit here today. It'll be 79 tomorrow, so that should be a good day for a game. Time for your DTE Energy Kid Race, the mascot. It's Ribby racing against our kid here today, and he's around second base. Ribby is really trailing behind. He missed second base, in fact. Here comes our kid. Touches the third base bag. He will make his way home. And your DTE Energy Kid Race, the mascot, goes to the kid once again here today.
Sorry, I fell asleep. Ribby lost? Oh, man.
Surprise, huh?
Yeah.
Montaner back on the mound here in the third inning. He's looked sharp today.
Very good. Getting some soft contact, like we mentioned. That's one of the things he's the best at, limiting the extra bases. Fastball looks like it's playing up a little bit today, too. The average velocity is around 86. We've seen a lot of 88s. He's touched some 89s and 90s this season. But those 88s have some life. They even look a little faster.
Ultimately, that's only going to help him going forward if he can do that a bit more as well. It's a fastball that has some pretty good spin, above average spin on the curveball for this league as well.
And he's kept the pitch count down. One at bat got more than 5 pitches. He's gotten 2 one-pitch at bats. 5 pitches total last inning.
First pitch to Schellenbarger, fastball away. Bryant entering at 247 with the 13 RBIs. Now the 1-0. Fastball in for strike one. Third inning brought to you by Chevrolet. We thank Chevrolet for their partnership with the USPBL network. 1-1, curveball high, whiffed at a miss there.
Couldn't quite tell if that was a smile or a wince on the face of Montaner. Could have been both or either. You know, that curveball up could have been a plant or it could have been a mistake. Sometimes you'll see pitchers do that. They intentionally, not necessarily hang, but aim an off-speed pitch up in the zone, and you get a swing like that from a hitter who's completely not expecting it.
There's K number 2 already as well. 7 up and 7 down here in the third. Now Sean Lawler will get a shot. He's really picked up his hitting as the year has gone on.
In the last few, Lawler's been pretty good. Got a home run recently as well.
Swing and a miss there.
Boy, Montaner is just in a groove right now. He's working quickly. Hitters just don't seem ready at all.
Lawler has a hit in 6 of his last 7. Little modest 4-game hitting streak as well, which is only going to help this Hoppers lineup as he's able to produce at the bottom. Christian Fedko hitting at the very bottom today. He's on deck. He's cooled off a little bit. Not to overanalyze. I mean, he started pretty hot to start his professional career. He still only has 13 at-bats. But if he can produce and get on base like he did when he got here, use that speed as well, that can wreak havoc for the opponents if they continue to hit him ninth, and Fedko that is. And kind of how this lineup is shaping up, you wouldn't be surprised to hit him ninth fairly consistently. That one swung at and missed. I think there is kind of an opportunity. We've seen it shuffled a little bit in terms of the leadoff spot. There's not a true leadoff hitter necessarily on this team. Alex Pup has been there for the most part. 3-2 curveball. Boy, he just looked uncomfortable on that at bat. That's for strike 3 here in the third. His third K already.
Wow, that was a really nice at bat from Montaner. Fell behind 3-1, maybe didn't like a few of the calls, fought his way back, and a front door breaking ball at 75 in a 3-2 count. That's pretty good. I thought it was a closer call, too, but Parkinson knew it right away. He fired it down to third before we got a call, and he was right.
First pitch to Fedko low. You better be right if you're going to do that, right?
That'd be a little embarrassing.
I guess even more embarrassing when it's fired into the outfield. Now the 1-0, rifled foul down the third baseline, but just kind of finish that point on the leadoff hitter. We saw them taper with it a little bit. I think it was Porter that led off at some point last week.
Yeah, we see teams kind of tinkering towards the end of this season, seeing if they can get anything to play out a little bit differently, maybe find the magic recipe that has been hiding for most of the year. Sometimes it is just one little thing like that. One spot in the order can really change a player's entire approach at the plate, their confidence level.
3-1 on the ground to Attilis. He's been a vacuum here today and busy. 1, 2, 3 inning for Montaner. All across the board. First, second, third. He struck out 3 tonight as well.
Companies are competing for talent like never before. With the complexities of handling tasks like payroll, benefits administration, and other HR functions, it's easy to see how a professional employer organization like Tryon Solutions makes all the difference. Tryon empowers businesses of all sizes to attract and retain talent by offering access to top-tier healthcare and employee benefit plans. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
We joined Green Path and instantly felt a support around us.
They developed a plan on paper, and this is how we're going to do it.
The plan that they gave me was something that was sustainable. It was something I could do. It was actually lowering my payments monthly by hundreds of dollars.
Choosing Green Path is a no-brainer.
Get great seats, safer, simpler, and smarter with TicketSmarter. Choose great seats from over 125,000 live events, all backed with a TicketSmarter 100% ticket guarantee. Get your tickets smarter at TicketSmarter.com.
Two 2-0 Unicorns here in the fourth. Brendan Shabath and Jeremy Otto bringing you the call on this rare Wednesday night baseball on the US PBL network. Andrew Verbrugge, despite a couple walks, a couple runs, including a solo shot from Galassi, he'll head out there for the fourth. He'll face the 6, 7, and 8 hitters for the Unicorns, Bolin, Attilis, and Parkinson. Still only one hit given up for Andrew. It's just been the walks that have been the bugaboo. A couple errors, too. He had a throwing error himself on a pickoff move to first that sent Attilis over to third base. Alex Pupp had an error at short that allowed Attilis to score and John Hodo to reach on what would have been a second out ground out. Bolin struck out his first time, though, one of 3 for Verbrugge. First pitch skied shallow center. Pupp and Porter coming in, and there's Porter to make the grab. Now stepping in Luis Attilis, .433 average in his last 10, like we mentioned. Reached on a walk his first time. First pitch curveball in there for a strike. That's the curveball that Verbrugge's been looking for early in these counts. We've seen him be behind in so many counts already today. Finally gets ahead in one, now evens it up.
And it hasn't been a bad fastball in terms of velo. Maybe it's ticked down a little bit here as he's gone by, but we saw 92 several times in the first.
There's the fastball middled, and Attilis was late on it. Looks like it might have caught part of Scott Combs. He took a pitch off the dirt back to his mask earlier, and he's a little shaken up.
That's the last thing you obviously want to see for Scott Combs, but catchers have just been beaten up, I feel like, lately in this league.
Combs, a newcomer on this Hopper squad, joined a few days ago. Local kid from Northville. Spent 3 seasons up in East Lansing at Michigan State, and then his last season at Northern Illinois. A guy Ryan Kotke likes what he provides in combination with the other catcher, Whit Hughes. The 1-2 curveball in the dirt, 2-2. Combs had a nice game on Sunday in the Hoppers win over the Beavers. Curveball at the bottom of the zone, and Attilis stays alive.
Yeah, I think they're hoping to really develop Whit Hughes a bit more. Maybe a guy that could be here again next year, because he's pretty young for pro ball at this level, at least. I mean, you see usually older guys comes to independent ball, especially when it comes to the American Association and some of the other leagues.
2-2 curveball, got him on swings. Verbrugge with his 4th K today sends Attilis back to the bench.
Because in those other leagues, I mean, we're talking about AA, AAA guys that, you know, played at a high level but just didn't stick on. Maybe they were DFA'd for one reason or another, and then independent ball is kind of their last circuit back to at least affiliate ball and hopefully the big leagues one day. Here in the USPBL, you're not going to see anybody go straight to AAA or straight to the big leagues, per se.
Pounded on the ground, foul. You don't think Dakota McFadden with his 400-plus average as a Beaver could go play for the Tigers right now?
Might be able to.
Big news out of downtown Detroit today. Tigers general manager Al Avila was let go this evening. Outside, 1-1. And you always, at least for me, sympathize with any player, coach, or GM who loses their job and just any everyday Joe, but this was a move that was a long time coming for the Tigers. 1-1, swing and a miss.
It'll be interesting to see who the next hire is. I think it's a big hire.
Yeah.
Because they're at a situation where they've already spent some money. Didn't really pan out. Was that anybody's fault? It's hard to say, but
back-to-back Ks for Andrew Verbrugge. Parkinson down on swings. The curveball starting to work a little bit. His first 1-2-3 inning of the night. Hoppers batting in the 4th, down by 2.
Why are all these business owners smiling? Because they rely on Tryon to handle difficult and time-consuming HR tasks like payroll, benefits administration, and more. Working with one of the nation's top professional employer organizations provides access to top-tier healthcare and employee benefit plans and Trion's team of attorneys and HR experts. With Trion, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTrion.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Throughout your life, from big moments to ones well-earned, we're your financial guardian angel. Alliance Catholic Credit Union.
Another good evening, taking some baseball on the hill. Cheap ticket, gets to soak in some sun rays and, hey, maybe catch a home run ball, get a souvenir. And an interesting development on the mound after 3 perfect innings for the starter, Jean Montaner. We have a pitching change for the Unicorns. Perry Bewley takes over. Montaner went 3 innings. No hits, no runs, no walks, and struck out 3. But perhaps a bullpen day for the Unicorns as Bewley takes over here in the 4th.
Well, we kind of knew that he wouldn't go too long, but I'm kind of surprised given the success he had on the low pitch count that he carried that he didn't go maybe into the 5th. I mean, we were here in 3 or 4. Hopefully it has nothing to do with that thing you caught earlier about him wincing after the pitch. But
I suggested that as almost, it was a mistake pitch and I got lucky, not necessarily an injury. He looked comfortable all day on the mound. Maybe a chance for the Hoppers here, see a new arm, get back in this game. They've been stifled through 3. So top of the order, 1, 2, 3. Pup, Porter, and Rivera will face Bewley here in the 4th. First pitch fastball at 90 in for a strike. For Bewley, it's a 4-seam fastball, slider, and changeup. Slider misses 1-1. This is his 17th appearance of the year for Perry. That is, all of them in relief. An ERA below 2. He's been outstanding. This one's on the ground, a short. Attilis, who has just been so busy today, records another out.
Yeah, Bewley definitely a guy that you could see sooner than later get picked up at some point.
He's only given up 1 home run this year, only 3 extra base hits.
No, we don't like to geek out too much in terms of spin rates, but he's a guy you can geek out on. My goodness, since he got here. Just remember, I think the pitching staff behind us, maybe watching him the first time, and they were like, wow, he's averaging well over league average and right around major league averages and above in terms of his fastball and his slider. The changeup doesn't throw it all too much. Hasn't had to with how effective his other 2 pitches have been coming mostly in relief, but
a 1 to Porter. Fastball, outside edge for a strike. And if you want to geek out even more, you look at the thing that stands out to me, the contact that Perry Bewley gives up, both inside the zone and outside the zone. He's top 5 in both categories percentage-wise among all of the league's pitchers. 0-2, got him, swing and a miss.
There's that tail away from the left-handed batter. Blake Porter really had no shot at making contact with that baseball.
So that's 4 strikeouts total for Unicorns pitchers. The first one today for Bewley belongs to Blake Porter.
And Bewley has given up 2 earned runs, shocker, in his last 2 games. But, I mean, you kind of look at that. They've been both 1-inning stints, so a little bit more than we're used to and more than I'm sure he'd like to. So I'm sure that was goal number 1 as soon as coming in here today, get the first 2 out, and he's done that.
Outside to the lefty Rivera for Bewley. Better against lefties than righties, so he's one of those guys with the opposite expected split. But he's been good against both. Even righties are only hitting .217 against him. 1-0 is high and away.
This Unicorns bullpen is in good shape as well today. They did not play in the non-public yesterday. There was only one this week because we're starting this week on Wednesday here in the public side of things, which is unique. Wouldn't be shocked to see him go 2 if he's efficient here in the first like he has been, or here in the fourth, whatever, his first inning of work, but
yeah, I think so.
Hasn't gone too much this year, but
pitches fouled back 2-1, and I do remember you saying, Jeremy, that, you know, you and I converse before the game always, you know, what's the bullpen status today? Who's going when? Because often it's scheduled, at least for the most part, not necessarily when, but the order of who's coming out of the pen. And Guzman told us today, hey, we haven't played in a few days. Everybody's hot this week or tonight. So perhaps factoring a little bit into the decision to remove Montaner and head to the bullpen early.
There is some stretching and throwing actually now already for the Unicorns, so maybe it is just 1 inning. Don't listen to us.
3-1 on Rivera. Bewley, a guy who doesn't walk much, in danger here, but Rivera pops it up. Is there room for Parkinson towards the screen? No, it reaches the stands.
Wow, that ended up on the seat back of a fan who was kind of ducking out of the way. He had taken his glasses off. There he is right there. Not too often you see that without it hitting him. Yeah. I mean, he really didn't move. He just kind of bent a little bit forward. Not sure he realized how close it was to him.
So now a full count on Yachty. He grounded to Ari Sakopoulos over at first back in the first inning. This one's lined and a base hit into left field. The first hit today for the Diamond Hoppers comes with 2 outs here in the fourth.
That's a big one and a big part of the lineup as well. You want to kind of continue this momentum if you're the Hoppers. Get one swing, get a couple runs on the board, and all of a sudden this game is leveled, which would have to feel pretty good for one of your top starters who's just struggled to command and control his stuff so far today.
I think that's been the impressive thing for Verbrugge, despite some of the struggles. Has still only given up a hit and only 2 runs. He's kept his offense close. Looking to get some run support here in the fourth. Burke fouls the first pitch back. He grounded to Attilis. He was part of that group who has kept Attilis so busy tonight. Luis Attilis has had already in the first 4 innings 4 ground balls hit his way.
He's made them all look very easy, hasn't he?
Sure has. 0-1, swing and a miss, 91. He pumped it by him with the fastball. Bewley will ask for a new one.
Well, Burke hitless in his last 4. Would like to break that. He had some really nice swings. Maybe that 5th outing ago. It resulted in a home run, nearly 2.
The 0-2, swing and a miss. 3 straight pitches, 2 fastballs and a slider, and Joe Burke goes down on strikes. Bewley gives up the first hit of the game, but he strikes out 2 and leaves the score where it is. It's 2-0 Unicorns as we will go to the 5th.
As As your neighbor who works at Ascension, Michigan, and a cardiologist who's practiced for more than 20 years, I'm going to keep asking, how are you feeling today? Your care can't wait. Getting care sooner can mean catching things before they get worse. At Ascension, Michigan, our ERs and our hospitals and other sites of care are maintaining strict precautions for your safety. Studies have shown that people will get care sooner if they're encouraged by their doctors, family, and friends. Get the care you need at getascensionmichigancare.com.
Get great seats, safer, simpler, and smarter with TicketSmarter. Choose great seats from over 125,000 live events, all backed with a TicketSmarter 100% ticket guarantee. Get your tickets smarter.
Andrew Verbrugge still on the mound here in the fifth, trailing by 2 runs. He'll face the 9-1-2 hitters, Hodo, Castro, and Galassi. Hoppers were able to get their first hit last inning, but nothing more after that with 2 outs. Joe Burke struck out on 3 straight pitches. A good inning for Perry Bewley, following up the good start for Jean Montaner. Verbrugge turned it around last inning after a tough first 3 innings. He did only face 3 batters in the third, but a leadoff 4-pitch walk to Sakopoulos is not exactly what you're looking for. Did get Childress to ground into a 6-4-3 double play and then recorded the final out to Lambert, but got Bolin to pop out to center and then struck out both Attilis and Parkinson in the fourth for his first 1-2-3 inning this game. A theme we've talked about all season. It doesn't get any easier with the next batter, no matter where you look in this Unicorns lineup. Hodo will lead things off. Not too often you see a 300-plus hitter in the 9 hole, but that's what the Unicorns have been blessed with all season long. Hodo pops the first one, fly ball to right field, and Schellenbarger easily under it and squeezes it for the first out. So Castro, who's been a middle-of-the-order bat most of the season, like Jeremy alluded to earlier, perhaps Jim Essien and Adrian Guzman trying to bring his bat a little bit of new life, batting at the top of the order today. Hasn't panned out through his first 2 at-bats, both strikeouts. And now a pop-up to the infield. There's Rivera, and Castro's 0 for 3. So 2 quick outs for Andrew Verbrugge. 2 pitches and 2 outs. Galassi's already homered today. He steps in with 2 outs and nobody on. That one's in the dirt for ball 1. One-0 curveball misses outside. Galassi, the solo shot in the first, grounded to the second baseman Fedko in the second. 1 for 2. The home run was his 20th RBI and 26th run scored this season. Really good totals already with still about a month left of baseball. 3-0. Verbrugge walks him on 4 pitches.
First baseman, number 25, Ari.
So now a dangerous hitter comes up after the 2-out walk to Galassi. It's Ari Sakopoulos. He's walked twice today. And there's a ball low. Sakopoulos has seen 10 pitches, and only 2 of them have been strikes. That ball there was the 11th. Galassi goes on the pitch. The throw down from Combs. He's easily safe as the curveball was outside for ball 2.
And the thing with that is, I don't think you could point to it and say, oh, that's intentional. Number one, it's not easy to do that in this Unicorns lineup. Number two, it's kind of been in important situations. One after a home run, give it up to Galassi in the first, another to lead off the third. And here, obviously, with 2 outs, you don't want to really play around much with your team hanging around.
2-0 in the dirt again. Sakopoulos, perhaps a little sigh of frustration there. We obviously know how much he wants to hit. Got to his goal of 10 home runs over the weekend. Looking to get to 30 RBIs now. He's got 29. He'll take a curveball there for strike 1. Almost feels like Sakopoulos is just waiting for Verbrugge to get back into this at-bat so he can get a pitch to hit with a runner in scoring position. Outfield shades Sakopoulos to pull, and he walks him.
Kind of like when you take the hit by pitch on the wiffle ball field but say, no, I'm staying in here.
Yeah. I play with a few people in a slow pitch softball who either don't get out of the way or will take the hit by pitch for a base, and I just can't help but shake my head and
it's really
look
hard
at the dirt.
to get hit by a pitch in slow pitch softball. My goodness.
Well, theoretically, it's easy. You just don't move, and it
true.
doesn't hurt.
I know, but like,
and once you see it coming, get out of the way. We're here to hit. But Sakopoulos is 0 for 0 with 3 walks today. Here's Childress. He walked back in the first. That 6-4-3 double play happening in the third. This one's down the line on the right side, but it'll scoot out of play.
I took my 2 nephews on a little bit of a baseball camping trip over the weekend, and we went to a campground that had its own little beach. It was called Gun Lake. But we had kind of abandoned the wiffle balls and went to the beach, and all of a sudden we found our wiffle balls gone.
Wow, someone stole them?
Yes.
That's absurd. Wiffle balls are like what? $4 for a bag of 4?
Yeah, but it was disappointing. I mean, we still had some more, but it's like, come on now.
Right. Now 1-1 on Childress. Curveball darting away, 2-1. That .373 average in danger of adding to this Unicorns lead right here with 2 outs. Here in the 5th, swing and a miss, 2-2.
We used to get the whiff balls with the no holes in them.
Those are the best ones.
They absolutely fly.
Oh, yeah. Those are the best ones. The ones with the holes are technically true wiffle balls.
Yes.
But
if you have the right bat and that combined.
Oh, yeah. Danger.
Very fun.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Now make it 3 balls, 2 strikes. A full count to Noah Childress. I think that was Combs signaling Porter to shade Childress to the opposite way. He's about 5 or 6 steps to the right of the second base bag. Runners on the move with 2 outs on the full count, and Rivera will just tag Galassi, who's right there on the ground out. So a little bit of danger with 2 outs for Andrew Verbrugge, but he gets out of it unscathed. Unicorns 2, Hopper 0. Home half of the 5th on the other side of the break.
Dunham Sports is a proud partner of the USPBL. Big names, low prices, delivering value since 1937.
At Fifth Third Bank, we're working hard to make banking a Fifth Third better, which means we put 166.7% into everything we do.
I think you can only give 110%.
Well, with free checking, fraud protection services, and an automatic savings tool to help you quickly reach your goals, 166.7% is possible.
Oh, wait till my 8th graders hear about this. They're gonna be like, it's not possible. Well, yes it is.
This is banking, a Fifth Third better.
So it is, in fact, just one inning for Perry Bewley. Austin Calopetro takes over here in the 5th, facing Noah Marcoux, Scott Combs, and Bryant Schellenbarger, the 5, 6, and 7 hitters for the Hoppers. Calopetro this season, 8 appearances, one of them a start, the rest in relief. A 2.70 ERA. He's been pretty good, a relatively new guy to the league, only 13 1/3 innings. Got here a little bit after the college showcase.
Hey, you kind of talk about a guy who was grassroots into getting here. He had pitched at the University of Toledo. Pretty good school to be at in the MAC. Some good baseball there. Some guys have gotten drafted out of the MAC recently, I feel like more lately, but last time pitching competitively, if you want to call it that, was in 2019 at the collegiate level at least. Then COVID hit, didn't have a lot of places to go, ended up pitching in a men's league, staying sharp that year, last year, a little bit this year. And some guys who had played here in the USPBL previously said, your fastball is too good for this league, man. Get out of here and go up to pro ball. We have a few connections, and he was here 5 days later.
You would think a guy with only 13 innings hasn't been here too long, but it is a little bit hard for some pitchers to rack up those innings, especially in relief. First pitch or second pitch to Marcoux. That one's in the gap, in trouble. Bolin makes a nice grab. And how about that? Malik Bolin talked to us pregame, said he got here at 1:30 today and was taking fly balls for a few hours out in left field, something he's struggled with at a new position. And he said particularly the line drives, and that one hung up a little bit, but still a liner, and good to see Bolin make the grab.
Boy, off the bat, that looked pretty. Just kind of seeing eye to the left center field gap, but Bolin kind of cruised over there, cut it off quickly. Early work paying off. That's going to make him smile inside. So now the right-hander, the catcher, Scott Combs, grounded out to Attilis. Feels like we've said that a lot. First pitch in for a strike. Calopetro has struggled against the righties this season, 368, but he kind of makes up for it on the other side in 23 at-bats. So not a huge sample size, but pretty decent for this league. Lefties are hitting .043 against him. I've seen a lot of reverse splits the closer we look. Montaner, I don't remember if you said it on air, and we talked about it before the game. His splits were pretty true in terms of owning left-handers.
Yeah.
Which is something you'd expect out of him, just kind of the arm angle he throws from, but
it's a little strange. It's not quite your prototypical angle for a lefty.
Hides it maybe a little bit more than your average guy that goes fairly over the top.
Combs pounds that one on the ground to Sakopoulos. He'll do it himself and step on the bag for the second out. 2 up and 2 down for Calopetro here in the 5th. For Austin, it's a 4-seam fastball, changeup, and slider. Fastball heavy. All 3 of them used in that order. The changeup and slider combined only account for about 1/4 of his pitch usage. Schellenbarger struck out his first time up. First pitch fastball, pounded foul.
Well, Bewley's inning went by pretty quick, but I think it was a nice job by him to kind of bounce back, shut him out after he'd given up 3 runs in his last 2 outings, basically recovering 2 innings. He struck out 2. Stuff looked good against 1 through 4 in this Hoppers lineup.
Schellenbarger fouls the 0-1 back. Calopetro misses 91 on the fastball. That's a good number for him. Highest he's gone is 92 this year. One, two, golfed out to center field, And Galassi will camp under that one. 3 up, 3 down for Austin Calopetro. Another nice inning, and the Hoppers still stifled offensively right now. They've got none. The Unicorns just 2. 6th inning, Jeremy Otto takes over on the other side of the break.
There are many things you can rely on in this world, like a sunny day brightening your mood, your mom baking the world's best apple pie, and never a dull moment in running your business. And when it comes to time-consuming HR tasks, you can rely on Tryon. Tryon can handle payroll and taxes, employee benefits, and more, so you can stay focused on attracting and retaining the best talent. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
What makes Detroit Mercy so unique is the fact that it's in the middle of Detroit, and especially with their service learning programs, you really get a chance to be a part of the community.
Detroit Mercy. Build a boundless future.
Well, and it's time for baseball. It's time for beer. Two Hearted Ale has been named the #1 beer in America for the past 4 years by members of the American Homebrewers Association. Play ball with the best. Two Hearted Ale, the iconic American IPA from Bell's Brewery, Comstock, Michigan. Please drink responsibly. Andrew Verbrugge is still gutting it out here in the 6th inning.
Just kind of the inverse of what we would perhaps expect in today's matchup. The way the first 3 innings went, Verbrugge struggled through 2 runs, still only 1 hit given up, but has walked a few batters. That pitch count has spiked a little bit, and Montaner, as we mentioned, had 3 perfect innings, and he came out after just 3. But I think we talked about this last time Verbrugge started. He leads the league in innings and total pitches, second in strikeouts. He's got the length, he's got the experience, and that's a commodity that Ryan Kotke and John Dombrowski have, and they use it to their advantage. They won't go to the bullpen until the 6th or 7th inning if they don't feel like they absolutely have to. And in a 2-run ball game, you don't have to.
First pitch to Lambert, low. Kevin today lined out in the first, popped out in the 3rd. 5, 6, 7 due up here in the 6th for the Unicorns. Try to add to this 2-0 lead. They scored single runs in the 1st and 2nd. All zeros otherwise across the board for both of these teams. Just 1 hit for both of these teams as well. Whittled foul again. 2-1 now. 6th inning here today, brought to you by Fifth Third Bank. We thank them for sponsoring the USPBL network this year. Malik Bolin on deck. Here's the 2-1. Curveball snaps in. Curveball just hasn't been as sharp as it normally is. Trying to use it very heavily early on. He's backed off a bit as this game has gone on. Now the 3-1. Walked the leadoff batter again. Already the 5th walk we've seen by him here tonight. 6th, actually. It's got to be a season high, right? 7 was. First pitch to Bolin, curveball inside. Now the 1-0. Fastball away. 2-0 now on Malik Bolin. He's got a strikeout and a pop out. Nice play, though, to begin the at-bats for the Hoppers in the 5th. Sharp line drive off the bat of Marcoux. He quickly got over the gap to keep it off the warning track where we thought it might head. Line drive right to Porter. For the first down here in the 6th, Bolin kind of flustered with his at-bats here today, you can tell.
Yeah, but he's going to be happy that he was able to make that play over in left field. I know he feels responsible for a couple runs given up in the past few games when he hasn't gotten a good jump on a ball out there. Remember one that he came in at first and then it was over his head and bounced at the base of the wall.
Here's Luis Attilas now. Curveball in for strike one.
Got to remember it's about the process, and maybe on a day that you spend a little more attention to your fielding, the hitting just isn't quite up to par.
Is your knee all right there, friend?
Yeah, I hit that thing hard.
0-2 here on Attilas. There a bruise on that already?
Not yet, but there will be. It's a sharp countertop we got here.
0-2. Chop past the glove of Verbrugge. That kind of disrupted it. Now Fedco's only play is to first. He barely nips the speedy Attilas over there for the second out.
Yeah,
might have been a double play if he didn't tick it.
Yeah, that was a really close play. A nice hustle by Attilas out of the box to read that that ball was going to be a tough play to make.
Matt Parkinson 0 for 2 today, popped out and struck out in his first 2 at-bats, hitting 8th in Jim Essian's lineup tonight. First pitch, fastball bust him inside at 88. It's been high as 92 today, kind of 90 on average, I would say. It's dipped off a little bit here as he enters inning number 6. 1-0 swing and a miss on the curveball there. 93 pitches deep for Andrew Verbrugge. That's got to be near a season high as well. Remember, a returner from last year, so he doesn't have those college innings under his belt. This is the time of the year where you watch a little bit of those guys closer. It's weird to see some guys and see that they've taken a month and a half off at times between your college and pro season. And that's kind of the situation that a lot of major league teams are faced with right now when placing their different draftees, because the draft was so late. As Parkinson swings and misses at that one. The draft's so late, so it creates sometimes an interesting challenge, especially for some of your top picks. Do you want them even throwing and ramping up again? Because likely they're going to be on innings limits anyway, so not the best of situations for them to have to navigate, but interesting nonetheless. Verbrugge with a nice 6th inning after the leadoff walk here on the USPBL Network.
Every summer, my family loves to have a neighborhood movie night in our backyard. And with my Chevy Blazer, I can head out and get everything we need for a great night. It has plenty of room for picking up friends, and the available hands-free liftgate is perfect for loading unhandy supplies. You know, it may be movie night, but my Blazer is the main attraction wherever I go.
Lease a 2022 Blazer 2LT for just $239 a month for 24 months. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City.
Make your move with a quick and easy mortgage from Genesis Credit Union. We have mortgages to fit your life. Genesis Credit Union. Visit us today.
Game number 3 for Ray Rodriguez on the mound here in the 6th inning for the Utica Unicorns, trying to preserve a tight 2-0 lead to this point. It's been a good effort today, just all the way around, by this Unicorns pitching staff. Rodriguez already the 4th arm used here in 6 total innings. Montaner started perfect through 3. Bewley came in to relieve him in the 4th. Gave up just a 2-out single to Rivera. Ended up striking out 2 in the end as he K'd Burke to end the inning. Then a 1-2-3 breeze of an inning by Calipetro, who looked sharp in the 5th as well, using all contact outs to get his 3.
Well, perhaps in some weird way, Bewley is going to be rooting for his teammates to give up a hit. If they go the rest of the way, each just one inning without giving up a hit. He'll be the only pitcher in the whole game for the Unicorns who did suffer one. And he had a nice inning. He had 2 strikeouts and only faced 4, and he faced the top 4.
Here's Sean Lawler now, 8-9-1, coming up for the Hoppers here in the 6th inning. Their only hit today, their only base runner today was Yadi Rivera back in the 4th. 5 Ks in total, no walks, and a whole lot of contact outs. Seems like half of them to Luis Attilas at short. Fastball zings in at 93, outside.
Well, he didn't have one at all last inning in 3 batters faced, so maybe his day's done now. Or he's going to get all 3 in this inning.
Pack it up. 1-0, line foul. Everybody at normal depth, outfield back. Lawler looks at strike 2. A little bit of a high pitch there, maybe. Christian Fedko on deck. That'll be Alex Pup. The wind is limp in right field. Here's the 1-2. Fly ball to left field. Bolin. Right under that one. 1 up and 1 down here in the 6th, and that's quietly 5 straight retired between Calipetro, Rodriguez, and Bewley. Now Fedko comes to the plate. He grounded out as a part of the 1-2-3 inning back in the 3rd. That was the last batter that Montaner faced.
His staff has just been really impressive today for the Unicorns. They seem fresh. They seem full of life. They seem like the heat is not zapping their energy. And not everybody in the past few weeks can say that in this league.
Look at the run on that fastball for strike 1.
You going to geek us out? What's the number over there?
Didn't register, my man. 1
Only-
and 1 on Fedko.
Only when we really want it, huh? We were talking about wiffle balls earlier, and it's just kind of funny that conversation came up. I was looking at the wiffle ball field today that's here at the ballpark as I was walking in, and I said, you know, you and me got to get our matchup going.
I'm down.
That we've talked about.
We used to play 1v1 in the backyard.
What was the format for that? I was going to ask, what format should we do? 3 at-bats each, 3 outs each? What is it?
No, we should play a couple innings. Just 1v1.
3 innings?
Yeah. Bring a change of clothes, though. Especially if the weather's like what it's been the last few weeks. Now the 1-2. Try to check his swing. He did not.
It almost looked like.
Did he say he tipped it into
That's
the
what I
glove of
thought.
Parkinson?
I don't think that's correct. Either way, it was a strike. Comment on the YouTube and Facebook who you think wins between Jeremy and I in the wiffle ball. I don't know. You've got the resume though. You've probably played more wiffle ball than I have.
There's been a lot of innings, you know, but I don't know. Trying to swing the other day.
I've got the recency bias though. I've been playing softball all summer.
True. Now, are we zinging it or are we just tossing it up there? I mean, if we're zinging
You're not
it,
getting anything easy.
Well, then that's not softball. You have to wait for that baby to come in if you're playing softball.
You know, it's just about being in the batter's box, having that mindset.
1-0 chopped foul down the third base line. Ryan Kotke actually subbed in a softball game. There he is down the third base line that I played in once.
That'd be scary.
Oh, his swing is scary. My
yeah,
goodness.
that's what I mean.
He would hit it to the
He was
outfield.
hitting home runs in batting practice here.
I don't think he actually plays softball anymore, but yeah, you just kind of get nervous playing with somebody like that because he's going to critique you.
Right. And also, you just don't want to get hurt. If you're a fielder, if you're over there at third and Kotke steps in, I'm playing in shallow left.
Take a couple steps back.
Yeah.
He said he told me a story once that he hit a baseball over the real fence and then over the impermanent fence kind of behind the Traverse City Beach Bums Stadium, which I went to about a month ago or so. That's pretty deep. That wasn't batting practice given, but still. He hit it out of the stadium. 1-2, fastball high, or curveball high.
What's your go-to strikeout pitch in wiffle ball?
Slider.
Slider?
Yeah. I can never control it, though. That's the one thing. I just try to zip it, but it just...
I've got a nasty screwball waiting for you.
2-2, fastball in. Pitching has never been my strength. We used to hit it over our house, which was the opposite way, and sometimes over our neighbor's house with those balls with no holes. I mean, it was legit.
Yeah, that sounds like some good distance.
The neighbors behind us weren't very fans of how many balls we'd hit over there. Sometimes I'd just let the dogs chew them, unfortunately. Here's the 3-2, low. The fastball there from Pup. Every once in a while, you would see it go bing, 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 bing. All the balls would just start coming over the fence as they threw them back.
You see your neighbor's trying to mow the lawn, and he just keeps chopping up these wiffle balls.
There'd be like 10 to 15 balls just around home plate.
Yeah.
Blake Porter 0 for 2 today, a couple strikeouts. One in the first, one in the fourth. Fly ball to right. He got under that one, and boy, that didn't have the distance that I thought it might. It hooks foul to the right, and there's no wind.
Right off the bat, I thought it was a no-doubter into the river. And he hit it hard, that's for sure.
You look at his reaction, too. He's like, well, how did that make it over there? That was last week, right, with the kind of swirling wind that was pushing balls out
back,
that would be caught, kind of down the first base line especially. 0-1, changeup away, 1-1 on Blake Porter. Ray Rodriguez, two-seam fastball, curveball, changeup, four-seam fastball.
Soon to be cutter, too.
Yeah. Broke his bat on the ground to Hodo. He'll feed the easy way over to first. Good job by Ray Rod here in the sixth. Pop out, strike out, ground out. Strands the two-out walk and keeps this game right where it is.
Every summer, my family loves to have a neighborhood movie night in our backyard. And with my Chevy Blazer, I can head out and get everything we need for a great night. It has plenty of room for picking up friends, and the available hands-free liftgate is perfect for loading unhandy supplies. You know, it may be movie night, but my Blazer is the main attraction wherever I go.
Lease a 2022 Blazer 2LT for just $239 a month for 24 months. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City.
We build roads, bridges, wind farms, and pipelines, schools to skyscrapers. Our members create monuments. We operate. We're the operators and mechanics behind the advanced heavy machines that move Michigan forward. We maintain boilers and HVAC. Our members run the complex heating and cooling systems that we all depend on. Our training is second to none, and safety is our priority. We are Operating Engineers 324, and we keep Michigan running.
Get great seats, safer, simpler, and smarter with TicketSmarter. Choose great seats from over 125,000 live events, all backed with a TicketSmarter 100% ticket guarantee. Get your tickets smarter at TicketSmarter.com.
Donovan Thacker relieves Andrew Verbrugge, who nearly topped out at 100 pitches here today, just shy. But he made it through 6 innings after the first 2 and only runs of this ball game given up in the first. One out home run by Drew Galassi in the first, then the leadoff walk in the second to Attilas. He came around to score on the error to Alex Pup. That's why we stand right where we are here. Thacker, since coming over to this Hoppers team has been a bit more effective than he was with the Mammoths. You look at his last few outings. I guess his last one he gave a up and earned run, but the two previous shut out the Unicorns twice. There was a stretch there where he had pitched 3 times in a row versus this Utica team. Hasn't really thrown much versus the Diamond Hoppers to this point. Last time was 5 appearances ago. We'll see what he does here in an important spot in this game. It's been neck and neck pretty much all night long and trying to keep it that way. 9-1-2 coming up in this Unicorns lineup. It's Hodo, Castro, and Galassi.
You're almost surprised to see Thacker in the slot. We see Sam Brace warming up, who was our pregame interview, and Ryan Kotke straight up told us, he said, yeah, I want to see, he even told Adrian Guzman, he said, yeah, you're going to see Sam Brace today. I want to see how he does that lefty against the lefties Galassi and Sakopoulos, and Galassi's at least due up. And not guaranteed, I mean, here in the 7th, the way this game has kind of gone, it's such low runs that not guaranteed they both get another at-bat.
Now the 1-0. Ball low, 2-0. Not much wind to speak of, but most of these outfielders here today have played very deep. The sound of the cicadas really vibrating through the stadiums right now, kind of around the Clinton River, past the trees. Fastball darts down, 2-1. That's one reason why Thacker has had a little bit more success. The velo has tipped up since he's been relieving. Now the 2-1. A fastball ripped foul.
Yeah, it's just a different mindset as a reliever, perhaps a little bit more energy in the tank as well. Lets you rear back and just kind of fire it in there as hard as you can.
2-2, fly ball to right. Schellenbarger didn't track it right away. Now he does. Kind of that twilight sky right now. It's fairly clear, not a cloud in the sky, to be honest.
Been a cloud all day.
A little bit of a reddish tinge as the sun starts to set here at 8:41 Eastern time on the US PBL network.
And for Thacker, he's not quite the velocity that we've seen some other relievers in the league, and that's just the trend that baseball teams all across the world are looking for now. Is you want velocity everywhere on the bump, but that's the most common one, is that you see the 99s and the 100s and the higher levels of baseball. Those are the relievers who come in and just fire gas for 3 or 4 batters in a row before they're pulled out. So maybe that plays into Thacker's mindset a little bit. Is, hey, I'm a reliever. I'm here for some velocity. That's what they want out of the pen. Pull the slingshot back and let it go.
Little Fernando Rodney, is that what you're saying?
Emmanuel Clase, Edwin Diaz, Ryan Presley, anybody today, too. Fernando also works. Zumaya, if we keep it at Detroit. Gregory Soto. What is it, a 98-mile-an-hour cutter? Try to hit that. It's just got to be over the plate for him.
I'm talking about the actual slingshot when they go off the mound and act like they're slinging.
Oh, well, okay, I got you. That was a miscommunication there.
Thacker over to first, 2 up and 2 down here in the 7th.
Then, yes, Fernando Rodney's about perfect.
There's somebody else that does that, too, probably now, right? I don't know.
I don't remember. My favorite thing now, though, we're talking about relievers, and a name I already mentioned, Edwin Diaz. His walkout, his entrance with the whatever that song is, the trumpet song, is perhaps the coolest and most menacing thing in baseball I've seen. If I don't care if you're Mike Trout, Aaron Judge, or Juan Soto, you're a little scared when you hear that music and see him walk out, just so calm and collected. And then just a casual 102 on the radar gun.
Fastball at 92 inside, 1-0. Very deep and right is Schellenbarger. He hopped at the wall, couldn't get one back in the first inning. That right now is the winning run.
Can't help but feel like Schellenbarger might get one of those this year. We've seen him try that a number of times on some lefty home runs. Leap up to the wall and be pretty close. Perhaps just needs the right ball to do it. He was relatively close to Galassi's, actually. I think just mistimed his jump a little bit. It's got to be a little difficult to be an outfielder in this outfield and try to rob a home run. Most guys, as we've talked about, play so deep that you turn around 5 or 6 steps and you're already on the warning track, and by that point you've got 1, maybe 2, if you're really lucky, 3 steps to kind of collect yourself and get a good vertical leap.
2-2 on Galassi now. He also walked and stole a base back in the 5th. Infield back, outfield back. Nobody on with 2 outs in a 2-0 game in favor of the Unicorns. Here's another 2-2. Fly ball to right center field. Porter, head on a steam, back to the track, to the wall, the leap! Didn't even need a leap. Across the Budweiser sign in right center field. He snares what could have been the 3rd run for the Unicorns here in the 7th. Still 2-0.
As your neighbor who works at Ascension, Michigan, and a cardiologist who's practiced for more than 20 years, I'm going to keep asking, how are you feeling today? Your care can't wait. Getting care sooner can mean catching things before they get worse. At Ascension, Michigan, our ERs and our hospitals and other sites of care are maintaining strict precautions for your safety. Studies have shown that people will get care sooner if they're encouraged by their doctors, family, and friends. Get the care you need at getascensionmichigancare.com.
First State Bank is a locally owned and operated business. We're part of your community. At fsbcares.com, you'll find ways that we're making a difference by featuring locally owned and operated businesses, providing access to helpful financial resources, and engaging with community. fsbcares.com is part of our commitment to the neighborhood because strong neighbors mean stronger communities.
Where good neighbors do great things.
Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
So Brian Camacho will take over here in the 7th for the Unicorns after Montaner started the game and went 3 perfect with 3 strikeouts. It's been 1 inning apiece for each of the Unicorns relievers, starting with Bewley, who gave up a hit and had 2 strikeouts. Calopetro, just 1 inning, nothing else, all contact outs. And then Rayrod had an inning with 1 walk and 1 strikeout and nothing more.
So Yadi Rivera will lead off the 7th. First pitch fastball at 91. Camacho blows it by.
And even on a lower end fastball for Brian, he's typically around 94, 95. That 91 is still really hard to catch up to and seems even faster.
The 0-1.
Oh.
Changeup.
Filthy.
Here it is, hit it.
It just looked almost the exact same as the fastball until about the last 30% of its track to the plate.
Now the 0-2. Fastball high, overthrew it that time. Kind of trying to limit the doubles, especially down the right field line. Sakopoulos is pinned to it.
Well, even though the pitching staff has been dominant in this game, both offenses just have really struggled to put up runs, and so it's still a close game, and the Hoppers are still just a few swings away from getting back in this.
We're at this point in the lineup with 3, 4, 5 up. This is the only man that's had success here today besides the walk to Pup in the 6th. Just 2 base runners for the Hoppers. The time is now. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Wipeout slider on the interior there. Parkinson will complete it. That actually just looked like a little bit of a lower velocity fastball, but had some late dive like a slider would.
88? That might have been the slider. I wouldn't be surprised if he reared back and threw a good one like that. I love Brian Camacho's arm. I'm going to say slider, Jeremy. He's touched 87 with it this year.
Disagreeing with our man here.
Dan can't always be right, you know.
He'll tell you the numbers say otherwise or something like
Whatever.
that. Whatever.
Numbers schmumbers.
First pitch to Burke. Boy, there's another one. He's marking into the fastball. I guess
now
I got to believe him. 2 straight pitches here.
Now it's spite, okay?
You're with me, right? I mean, that's got dive to it.
Well, if we want to talk about numbers, let's do it. That last one came in at 2,200 RPMs. We're going to geek it out here. His average slider spin rate, 2170. His average fastball, 2049. So the 22 is closer to the slider, isn't it?
You know, I'm looking at it. I mean,
Either way, here it is, hit it. You know.
I mean, the average fastball velo, that's something that tells you as well that it's not necessarily there. He's more 91.
He's almost 93 if we're rounding up with the average velo on the fastball.
That's true.
Are we just exposing Dan on the air right now?
Not purposefully, I don't think. One's in for strike 2. He's showing us some heat maps now. Let's see.
I say slider. We'll ask Brian. That'll solve it all.
0-2, fastball low and in. Unless he's tinkering with a different pitch that we haven't been made aware with. I guess that's always possible.
Yeah, if he had like an 88-mile-an-hour changeup.
I mean, ideally, you'd like to have a few more ticks off, but
yeah,
wouldn't be that far out of the range of possibility. Swing and a miss.
I think when you're so sped up, though, when he's been 93 to 95 all season long, that 88, whether it actually looks like it or not, is going to have hitters far enough out front that it's not going to matter.
Well, whatever it is, he's having success with it.
Back-to-back strikeouts, yeah.
Noah Marcoux 0 for 2 today. A couple lineouts, 1 to center, 1 to left. There's a lot of 0 for 2s. Now 0 for 3s mixed up and down this order for these two teams. First pitch to Marcoux. Fastball high and away. Outfield deep, infield back and deep. Nobody on and 2 out. Seemed like we've been saying that a lot lately in the middle to late innings of this contest as well.
Marcoux, our player of the game from Sunday. The Hoppers win. Reached in all 4 appearances. Tallied an RBI, had a walk. Guy you and I have both been high on, turned it around recently. Has kind of settled in as a pro.
(2-0). Fastball tail away from Marcoux there. 2-1 now. (2-1). Fastball outside. 3-1. Marcoux DHing here today for the Hoppers. Bat has picked up steam as this year has gone on. Average peaked up to 283 before the contest here today. He has since gotten a lot more playing time as the year has gone on as well. Now the 3-1, fastball away as he chucks the bats. Doesn't seem like much, but in a game where they've now only had 3 base runners, it could start something.
Yeah, quick research, Jeremy. Marcoux, 7 for his last 14 at bats.
I believe it.
That'll shoot your season-long batting average up.
It got his first home run in that stretch as well in a non-public last week to start the week. Here's Scott Combs trying to break an 0 for 2 today. Ground out, ground out. One to the shortstop, Attilas. One to the first baseman, Sakopoulos. You just jinxed Attilas, keeping busy. How dare you?
I know. Maybe, I don't know, maybe he's thankful. Maybe he was getting overworked over there, or maybe he's going to hate me.
Short lead for Marcoux at first. That's what you'd expect with his speed and the magnitude of that run. You don't want to think about getting picked off. Two hits on the board combined for these two teams. 2 runs as well. Unfortunately for the Hoppers, both those in the direction of the Unicorns. Sakopoulos holding on Marcoux. Middle of the infield shaded towards the bag in case they want to force to second. That fastball winds him inside, 2-0. Maybe it's a 2-seam he's working on.
That could very well be possible. Maybe a sinker.
Yeah, Dan just said he's not thrown a single 88-mile-an-hour pitch this season. So it's got to be something different. And it's not like his velocity is down today either.
No,
we've seen 92.
Seen the 93, yeah.
He's also said that's faster than every slider he's thrown and slower than every fastball he's thrown. So
at some point you got to throw your fastest slider though, right?
There's another 88 inside as back-to-back walks here in the 7th. Maybe there's something brewing here for the Hoppers. One swing of the bat can give them the lead. Unicorns fear that in their dreams here. Kreitzer, Perez, Hughes listed on the bench. Perez likely unavailable here today. Shep separated his shoulder. Was that on Sunday?
Yeah.
When I was not here, but that's one of those injuries. We were talking about it before the game here today where you can bounce back pretty quickly. Some guys even bounce back in the same game and make it happen. Sometimes
yeah, we've heard those stories before, yeah.
More so in other sports, but
there's kind of an awkward sliding play over at second base on a ground ball to his right that eventually got up the middle for a base hit.
Fly ball clubbed to left center field. Galassi sees it all the way. Boy, off the bat, that sounded pretty dang good. Near the scoreboard in left center field, one of the deeper part of the ballparks, but Galassi says, nah, it's no problem for me. Couple walks, nothing becomes of it after 2 strikeouts to begin the inning here by Brian Camacho. Still 2-0 Unicorns.
As your neighbor who works at Ascension, Michigan, and a cardiologist who's practiced for more than 20 years, I'm going to keep asking, how are you feeling today? Your care can't wait. Getting care sooner can mean catching things before they get worse. At Ascension, Michigan, our ERs and our hospitals and other sites of care are maintaining strict precautions for your safety. Studies have shown that people will get care sooner if they're encouraged by their doctors, family, and friends. Get the care you need at getascensionmichigancare.com.
First State Bank is a locally owned and operated business. We're part of your community. At fsbcares.com, you'll find ways that we're making a difference by featuring locally owned and operated businesses, providing access to helpful financial resources, and engaging with community. FSBcares.com is part of our commitment to the neighborhood because strong neighbors mean stronger communities.
Where good neighbors do great things.
Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Sam Brace now takes over on the mound here in the 8th inning. Good look at the moon out to our right. Brace two-seam fastball, slider, changeup. He's been really effective, as we talked about earlier, through 2 appearances. Has given up just 3 hits in 3 innings. See what he can do here today. Last time he threw was on the 7th. So just 3 days ago on Sunday against the Beavers. A walk and 2 Ks for him in that one. Sam Brace, the LTU/UAB product. LTU, of course, a local NAI school. LTU, in fact, plays at this very ballpark, Jimmy John's Field. They don't have a home field on their campus. Ari Sikopoulos, Noah Childress, Kevin Lambert will bat here in the 8th. A chance to pad this lead. Unicorns flirting with fire after the first 2 K'd in the 7th. Marcoux and Combs both walking. Combs on a 3-0 pitch. Then the line drive by Schellenbarger to the left center field gap. Sounded real hot off the bat, but ended easily into the glove of Drew Galassi as Ari Sikopoulos looks at a ball outside. He's walked 3 times here today. 1 in the first, 1 in the third, 1 in the 5th. The 1 in the third was leadoff variety.
Going back to that Schellenbarger fly ball, he was perhaps centimeters away from taking the lead in this game for the Hoppers.
Trying to preserve their modest 2-game winning streak here tonight. Childress on deck, the 2-0. Fastball high. 88 from Brace there. It's kind of the top end of his velocity scale, coming from this angle. Not able to get much on the fastball, but that's not a rarity for guys like this. 3-0, low and in. He walked him. 4 walks here today for Ari Sikopoulos.
That's what happens sometimes when you're the best hitter in the league. For power, that is, at least.
He's not walked more than twice before today in a game. He's done that just twice.
Well, his already sky-high on-base percentage of .410 is just going to go up even more.
Line drive sizzled foul. 0-1 on Childress. He reached with a walk in the first. There's a ton of walks all over the score sheet for the Unicorns here today. Really have not been able to capitalize on them. Just 1 run off it. That was a leadoff walk in the second. We saw them strand 2 walks in the first. A double play turned in the third off a leadoff walk. 2 walks stranded in the 5th. 1 more in the 6th. Maybe another on a double play here. No, it skirts by Fedko, or Pup, I should say, and that might loom large here in the 8th with the game still close.
Especially with no outs. That would have been a huge inning and perhaps game-changing double play.
Looks like Alex Brunson will make his professional debut here. Get some more speed on the base pass. Brunson out of St. Francis in Indiana. That's an NAIA. Also spent a year at PFW, Purdue Fort Wayne, in the, at that point, Summit League. They've since switched over to the Horizon League. 17 stolen bases this year in college. Or actually, he's coming straight from summer ball. 17 stolen bases in summer ball. That's for Terre Haute. 0-1. Lambert looks at a ball outside. That's interesting. He's got 17 stolen bases in summer ball, just one this year in college ball. Wonder why that is. Ripped on the ground, a base hits. Sikopoulos going to be sent around third base. Lawler tees up a throw high by the glove of Combs. And now the speedy Brunson to third base. That's a huge insurance run, and there's still no outs in the eighth.
We've talked about it time and time again. A team that is going to capitalize on mistakes. That's what this Unicorns team has done so well all season long, and they strike again.
Here's Malik Bolin now. Looks at a fastball away. Luis Attilis on deck. He's yet to have a hit here today. A walk and a run scored earlier as Brace shifts to first.
We've seen that pickoff move a few times from Brace, and it's kind of a nasty one. Really hard to gauge if you're the runner. Got to be aware of it if you're over there on first.
Yeah, it has one of those deliveries that it just kind of flows to first. Some guys have to more so turn and fire, but he just...
And it almost seems like until he's made his step, you really can't quite tell, just because it's so similar to his delivery to the plate.
2-0, rocketed foul back to the screen. Well, tomorrow at the ballpark, Thursday, Jimmy Buffett night. First pitch at 7:05, gates open at 6. You can get yourself a Paradise t-shirts. Can be added to any ticket package here. There'll be live music from the Michigan Schools and Government Credit Union soundstage from the Caribbean Blue Band. You can enjoy drink specials all night, including $2 Bud Lights and $5 craft beers in the Craft Beer Garden. You can also, for $16, enjoy all-you-can-eat nachos in the Craft Beer Garden. A lot of special things happening tomorrow. That's a pretty cool t-shirt. You like it?
Yeah.
It says Baseball in Paradise.
I like the colors.
3-2, fastball away, and now the pond full of Unicorns in the eighth. Still with no outs, and already the second free pass issued by Brace.
I've never seen Unicorns that swim.
This is a special breed, yes.
Oh, okay.
Just made, yep.
That new one that they just came out with.
Kotke trotting to the mound here, seeing the game slip away all of a sudden. It had been 2-0 since the second inning. Attilis scoring in the second, Galosri homering in the first. And you can't completely say it's slipped away, but if two or all three of these runs or more, you could see this game feel out of reach for this Diamond Hoppers team.
Pretty quickly, and with a guy like Attilis who is an RBI machine just with the type of hits that he gets. We've seen so many balls in the alley. He's just a great gap-to-gap hitter on both sides. Doubles galore. We could see a bases clearing double here. Looks like the infield's going to come home on anything on the ground.
Ooh, uncomfortable looking pitch on the slider there. He has 5 doubles this year, 10 RBIs. Outfield playing fairly in tonight from where they've been really all night for both of these teams, especially these hoppers. They played deep. Now the 0-1. Nearly hit him on the back foot there.
Outfield perhaps preparing to cut down the runner from second. I think Brunson over there at third scores easily on anything into the outfield that's dropping for a base hit.
Now the 1-1. Fastball in there for strike 2. Tillis just doesn't look comfortable against Brace right now.
Really awkward guy to get ready for and hit against.
Now the 1-2. Slapped foul. Late on the 87-mile-an-hour fastball there. Sakopoulos walked to begin the inning. He's already scored. That was on 4 pitches. The error, the single, and the walk lead to the bases loaded with no outs. 1-2. Ooh, that should have been strike 3.
You betcha. Tough take from Attilis there with 2 strikes.
Two, chopped on the ground. Tough play with the infield in. Throws across his body. Wow. For out number 1. Boy, it's not ideal with everything that happened and only 1 out granted, but that's a heck of a play by Fedko to get something.
Yeah, thought he would at least try to step on second, too, but still did get the out over at first. Stopped the bases from being loaded.
This has the inning potential to be the longest of the night. We may have already gotten there. With this batter, it'll tie it, I think. 6 batters by the Unicorns in the first. As Parkinson whiffs and misses at that one. John Hodo would be next, and Leandy Castro the top of the order. Infielders are still in. It's 4-0 Hoppers now in the 8th. Now the 0-1. Swing and a miss. Parkinson has already K'd twice in a row. Looking to avoid the hat trick here in the 8th. Brace hasn't been a big strikeout guy yet this year. 0-2. Bust him inside. 1-2. In fact, the ratio now 5 walks to 4 Ks. Runners on second and third with 1 out. The 1-2. Lally popped into left. A base hits. Lambert scores. Here comes De La Cruz around third. He pinch ran for Bolin. And all of a sudden, it's a 6-0 Unicorns lead still with just 1 out in the 8th.
You go back to that error from Fedko on what would have been almost a guaranteed double play. That would have had 2 outs with nobody on and negated the leadoff walk. And instead, the first 4 in this inning have scored.
Here's the 7th man to the plate, pounds up the middle, a base hits, and the line continues. Leandy Castro now, trying to break his 0 for 4. 2 Ks, a pop out, and a ground out. Hitting at the top of the Unicorns lineup here today. Kind of an unusual spot for him. Slider away. Now the 1-0. Up the middle again, a base hit. Will they try it again? Parkinson. No, he stops at third. And the bases are once again loaded for the second time here today with still just 1 out.
Landy was just waiting for some runners to be on. He didn't want to hit with nobody on base.
Like, nah, I'm going to wait.
Yeah.
You know. A chance for Drew Galassi now to really pound this game open. Already a 6-0 lead for the Unicorns. He started the scoring back in the first. Homered to begin the contest with just 1 out against Verbrugge, who gave up just 1 more run and made it through 6 here tonight. And now Ryan Kotke, co-manager of this Hoppers team, will take a slow stroll. And that looks to be the end of the day here for Brace. An outing to forget in his 3rd appearance. He gives up 4 runs and counting. Still 3 more will be charged to him if they happen to come in here in the 8th. It's 6-0 Unicorns on the USPBL network. Drummond coming in.
As your neighbor who works at Ascension, Michigan, and a cardiologist who's practiced for more than 20 years, I'm going to keep asking, how are you feeling today? Your care can't wait. Getting care sooner can mean catching things before they get worse. At Ascension, Michigan, our ERs and our hospitals and other sites of care are maintaining strict precautions for your safety. Studies have shown that people will get care sooner if they're encouraged by their doctors, family, and friends. Get the care you need at getascensionmichigancare.com.
First State Bank is a locally owned and operated business. We're part of your community. At fsbcares.com, you'll find ways that we're making a difference by featuring locally owned and operated businesses, providing access to helpful financial resources, and engaging with community. FSBcares.com is part of our commitment to the neighborhood because strong neighbors mean stronger communities.
Where good neighbors do great things.
Member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender.
Drummond takes over on the mound now for Brace. Still all the runners he's responsible for on first, second, and third. 4 more runs in, has opened up a can in the 8th. And a 6-0 lead and counting with 1 out for the Utica Unicorns. This will be the 22nd appearance for Luke Drummond. 2-seam fastball, 4-seam fastball, curveball, and a split change.
Well, with the pond full of unicorns, he's got his work cut out for him with only 1 out. I was geeking up some of Drummond's numbers earlier today.
You like that phrase after I used it, huh?
You know, I like warning our viewers that we're about to get into the nit and grit of the numbers here. But you look at opponent batting average by pitch, he should throw nothing but fastballs right now. Both the 2 and the 4-seam opponents are hitting less than 200.
Velo's ticked up as well as the season has gone on. There's a first pitch fastball to Galassi. He's the 9th batter to come to the plate here in the 8th.
And then you look at the off speed for Drummond, the curve and the split change. Both of them are above 300.
0-1, fly ball to right. Schellenbarger watching it fly. It's gone near the Clinton River. My goodness, Drew Galassi. Grand slam, and this game is officially open.
Is this kid good or what? On SportsCenter Top 10 a week ago, a home run last weekend, and now 2 tonight, including a grand slam. He's got that clutch gene in his veins. If you remember that home run from last weekend, what was that? A game-leading home run in the last inning of our first game of the doubleheader. A 2-run shot that took the lead after they trailed the entire game, and now the grand slam here to essentially put this game on ice.
Number 8 and 9 of the year. And you kind of wondered coming into this year, and the power came slowly for Drew. Be interesting to track maybe in his last 20 games how many home runs he's hit. 1-0, fastball, finds the zone for strike one. But he was a guy that jumped out to a real hot start last year, not only in the hit department, but in the home run department. He had 8 in the first month and a half. Then he cooled off. Started hitting a lot more balls up the middle after he had struggled. That's kind of his approach all the time. But he hit moonshots like that, challenging the Chevrolet Pavilion. That ball was hit 380 feet to right center field. 2-1, pounded back to the screen. 2-2 on Sakopoulos now. But you just wonder where he goes from here. I mean, you got to think he's going to start being looked at by scouts, and he was at some point certainly last year. But if you keep producing like this, you keep putting the power numbers up with that solid swing that, you know, when you need him to get a hit, it doesn't have to be the grand slam there. You can just pound it up the middle, score 2 runs, which we've seen more often than not. But the power coming in huge spots lately.
You want to talk about a 5-tool guy. You know, we mentioned Blake Porter earlier. Drew Galassi as well. Great defensively. He's got speed around the base paths. He can hit for power. He can hit for average.
Long run, that's actually Hughes. No, that is Combs behind the plate, I beg your pardon. It's Rivera who makes the play in the end for the second out. And that's the second time that Sakopoulos has come to the plate. They've scored what? 8 runs here in the 8th inning. Everybody but Attilas has scored. He still contributed with a ground out that drove in the first run, I believe.
Going back to Galassi, you know, we talked about Blake Porter earlier, a 5-tool center fielder who's been stellar all season long. The one kind of bugaboo for him, the strikeouts to walks. For Galassi, they're even better. Before today, 19 walks to 32 strikeouts. It's obviously not great, but he's an aggressive hitter. That's going to lead to some swing and miss. But the threat that he poses leads to a few walks, and you know, sometimes you got to pitch to him around the rest of this Unicorns lineup.
Here's the 1-1. Slider away. Two and one on Brunson here. Made his debut on the base pass. Now getting his first at bat as this one's popped up. Drummond actually hustling. He might take this ball. Nobody will. Burke, Drummond, Combs were all in the area. Nobody makes the catch. Instead, it's a high sinking strike 2. (10-0). The Unicorns lead. Brunson is so fresh in this league, they don't even have a headshot for him.
They took it today. I did see that.
Did they?
Yeah.
There you go, the insight. 2-2, shot on the ground, base hits. There's his first professional base hit.
Boy, what an inning.
Yeah, we started, with 1 base hit on the board for the Unicorns. There's now 7, and that seems modest, but the walks have paid off. The good at-bats have paid off. We've seen an error loom large here in the 8th as well. That was with the – was that the bases loaded earlier? It's hard to remember all these at-bats now, but slider away to Kevin Lambert.
And also you just look – in just this inning, they had 4 hits in a row at one point, Galassi's home run being the 4th, and they've got a base hit in 5 out of their last 6 at-bats.
That went in for strike 1 on Kevin Lambert. Fastball high above the belt, whiffs through it. 8th inning today brought to you by Jimmy John's. I thank Jimmy John's for their sponsorship of the USPBL Network. Drummond 1 strike away from working out of this. Got it there. 88-mile-an-hour fastball in for strike 3. What an inning it was. 13 batters come to the plate. 8-run score. It goes from a 2-0 game to a 10-0 game.
Why are all these business owners smiling? Because they rely on Tryon to handle difficult and time-consuming HR tasks like payroll, benefits administration, and more. Working with one of the nation's top professional employer organizations provides access to top-tier healthcare and employee benefit plans and Tryon's team of attorneys and HR experts. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
We joined GreenPath and instantly felt a support around us.
They developed a plan on paper, and this is how we're going to do it.
The plan that they gave me was something that was sustainable. It was something I could do. It was actually lowering my payments monthly by hundreds of dollars.
Choosing GreenPath is a no-brainer.
Get great seats, safer, simpler, and smarter with TicketSmarter. Choose great seats from over 125,000 live events, all backed with a TicketSmarter 100% ticket guarantee. Get your tickets smarter at TicketSmarter.com.
Welcome back, everyone. Keon Taylor now takes over on the mound. It's been a good effort by this bullpen for the Utica Unicorns. That will be overshadowed because of the 13-batter, 6-hit, 8-run inning that we just saw. But regardless, it's been Montaner, Bewley, Calipetro, Rayrod, Camacho, and now Taylor here in the 8th inning that have kept this Hoppers offense down to just 1 hit themselves. Sean Lawler, Christian Fetko, Alex Pupp due up here in the 8th. They have Kreitzer and Hughes available off the bench if they want to give somebody a blow at the end of this game. The Hoppers do not play again until the doubleheader on Saturday, and they play the Beavers in that one. And they also, wait a minute. Yeah, that will be their last 2 games of the week. So it's today and 2 more on Saturday. Tomorrow you have Mammoth Beavers. I already told you it's Jimmy Buffett night. Friday it's Mammoths and Unicorns once again for Catholic night. Fireworks Friday as well. Spun to the left of Lambert for a base hit here in the 8th. Off the bat at 89. Catholic Night presented by Alliance Catholic Credit Union, 4th annual Catholic Night. Gates open at 6. First pitch at 7:05. Here's Christian Fetko. He's 0 for 2. Ground out, strikeout. Jeremy Otto alongside Brennan Shabat to bring the call here today. Glad you could hang around with us. Weather's kind of cooled off here in Metro Detroit, 76 degrees. There's a slight breeze coming in the press box. Or is that just our breeze from the air conditioning at this point?
Listen to you. I'm over here an inning ago pulling out my quarter zip because it's 68 in this
well, that's just a little weak. That's
box.
all I'm saying. I mean,
for 3 hours, you get a little cold. You get some goosebumps.
High chop to the shortstop Attila Surrounds, feeds to second just in time over to first. That would have been dazzling, but just hit too knuckly, I guess, into the gap for it to turn into 2.
But yes, it has cooled off.
At least it's not the winter jacket that you'll have to wear in 2 months.
Oh, don't remind me.
Hopefully not 2 months, but
that would suck.
Here's Alex Pup, the top of the order. He walked back in the 6th. Grounded out in the 1st, grounded out in the 4th. They do have 3 walks to go with their now 2 hits today. Slider finds the zone for strike 1, and we've talked about it at length, but this type of day when the darkness has settled in, the sun has gone down, the scoreboard and the ball getting lost in the delivery of Keon Taylor, this is where he's hardest to hit. Nobody watching Fedko at first. He'll take second on defensive indifference as this one's popped up to Sakopoulos, and now he's going to have to get back. No, he won't take second. That's a double play, inning ending. Not often you have a 3-1 double play, but that's just what we saw there. Nice job by Keon Taylor to get over. We will play a full 9 here today, even though we're teetering towards the time limits. It's a 10-0 lead for the Unicorns.
At Fifth Third Bank, we're working hard to make banking a Fifth Third better. With free checking and fraud protection services, 166.7% is possible.
166.7.
This is banking, a Fifth Third better.
You hear about the promo that Jimmy's John's got going on? 5 off 20? How they pulling it off? Magic? You got David's Copperfields in there? Show yourself, Copperfields!
Jimmy John's. $5 off orders of 20 or more.
One thing that makes Detroit Mercy unique and different from other universities is that the faculty truly care about you and they're always there to help. Whether it's asking questions after class or going into the office hours, they're always there to lend a hand and really make you feel at home.
People are here to work together, and whether like you have a question or you're discussing topics within the class, you can go up to your professor and they know your name. They're just willing to help you become a better overall student.
Detroit Mercy. Build a boundless future.
Luke Drummond, still on the mound here in the 9th, took over in the rough 8th inning. Brace faced 8 batters, and I believe all those runs will be charged to him as well. It started with the leadoff walk to Ari Sakopoulos. The 4th time he has walked here today. 4 of the 8 that have been collected by the Unicorns here tonight. They scored 8 in the 8th to just break open what was a tight game all night long.
Yeah, really tough to see if you're a Hoppers fan or coach or manager in a game that all night it felt like you needed one to go your way to be back in it and kind of restart. And just one bad inning. We've seen that a lot the past few games, whether it's been a pitcher or a team in general, league-wide, and there's no exception to any of these teams. It seems like one bad inning has really derailed an entire good game of baseball for some of these teams.
Here's De La Cruz with a rocket to second. Fedko still out there. 1 up and 1 down here in the 9th. Now Luis Attilis will come up. He walked back in the 2nd, struck out in the 4th, grounded out in the 6th, and had another RBI ground out in the 8th. Check the swing down at first. He did not go. 2-0 on Luis now. Now the 2-0. Pump to right. Slide by Schellenberger. Can't get it. He was kind of in between. Maybe they got lost in the light out there. Attilis heads to 2nd. And a 1-out base runner in the 9th. Well, stick around in the post-game show sponsored by the University of Detroit Mercy. Brendan will catch up with our Lombardo Holmes player of the game.
Got any guesses as to who it is?
You got to think about that one for a long time, my friend.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't know. Maybe the guy that has 5 RBIs.
We'll see.
Parkinson fouls one back. Here's the 0-1. On the ground, right to Pup, ate him up. Attilis around third. He scores the 11th run here tonight. And that one airmailed. Not sure Parkinson realized it until the last second. He makes it to second now. A little sloppy by the Hoppers down the stretch.
Well, that can happen when a game gets away like this. Just start to get a little lax. Not just finishing the play.
Hodo 1 for 1. I beg your pardon, 1 for 4 here today as that nearly nipped the elbow, 1 and 2.
Nice moves.
1-1. Fouled back to the screen, 1 and 2 now. You like that one?
Yeah. That fly was nowhere near you.
One and 2 on Hodo now. All kinds of bugs that fly in this booth. Slammed right to Drummond. He thinks about second, but will fire to first for the second out. That's the one thing if you're camping. I know you don't camp a lot, but if you're young at home and camping in your own tent, like my nephews were, we had our own separate tent. They did not close the tent enough, which means mosquitoes in the tent, which are very hard to get out.
That sounds horrible.
First pitch slider away. Got to zip that thing up as soon as you get out and get in.
Yeah.
Now the 1-0, swing and a miss. Slider there. Castro down in the count with 2 outs and 2 strikes. This one off the end of the bat and foul. Runner on second, the 1-2. Fastball high. 2-2 now on Castro. Swing and a miss. Drummond with his second punch out here tonight. Another run does come around to score. Luis Attilis has himself his second run scored here tonight. Last chance for the struggling Hoppers here today, 11-0.
They call me Prospects. Since the day I was born as a diver's watch, the challengers of the world have taught me many things. Life is not a numbers game. It's about challenging ourselves. No matter what happens, just follow your heart. These pioneers drive our generation forward. Not by setting records, but by never giving up. Keep going forward. Prospects,
Available at Lucido Fine Jewelry.
As your neighbor who works at Ascension, Michigan, and a cardiologist who's practiced for more than 20 years, I'm going to keep asking, how are you feeling today? Your care can't wait. Getting care sooner can mean catching things before they get worse. At Ascension, Michigan, our ERs and our hospitals and other sites of care are maintaining strict precautions for your safety. Studies have shown that people will get care sooner if they're encouraged by their doctors, family, and friends. Get the care you need at getascensionmichigancare.com.
Great seats at a great price. Get them safer, simpler, and smarter with Ticket Smarter. A proud partner to the biggest names in live sports and events, including ESPN events and iHeartRadio. Ticket Smarter has seats for over 125,000 live events and 48 million tickets for sale. All backed with the Ticket Smarter 100% ticket guarantee. Thinking about your next great live event? Think smarter. Think Ticket Smarter. Get your tickets your way, guaranteed, at Ticketsmarter.com.
Now for the play-by-play of the bottom of the ninth, it's Brendan Shabath.
Keon Taylor will go 2 innings of relief. Had a good 8th inning, a 1-2-3. Well, actually only faced 3. Gave up a leadoff single, but then was able to get a double play, and then that strange 3-1 double play after the runner Fedko was on the move and Pup popped out in foul territory, and Sakopoulos flipped it to Taylor covering first for the 3rd out. Porter, Rivera, and Burke here in the bottom of the 9th, down by 11. Slider in for a strike.
It's got to be kind of a lowly feeling at this part in the night to see that ball get lost in the scoreboard if you're a hitter. Like, what do you do? I mean, yeah, it's not coming 95, but still, you don't want to lose the baseball. That's just like losing it in the lights when it, it's popped up in the outfield, the infield. That's not a good feeling. You have even less time to react, obviously, on a pitch, let alone a pop out, fly out, whatever.
Swing and a miss, 85 sinker. Baited Porter, and I guess that's the one lucky thing about every other hitter in the league about Keon Taylor is that he's not higher velocity. Another slider, tried to backdoor him and just missed it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Porter's 0 for 3 with a couple Ks tonight. Hasn't been 0 for 2 often this year. Wow, got caught looking. Backdoor slider. That time it finds the plate for strike 3. It's Taylor's first K tonight. He's been good with the strikeouts all year. 31 of them. That one 32 compared to just 9 walks.
And the only thing that he's kind of struggled with is the hit batters, and maybe some of that is out of control just because of his arm angle. But you think, he hits a lot of guys. He probably struggles with walks as well. That's just not the case.
Walk rate below 3 per 9 innings. 0-1, sky to left. There's De La Cruz coming in, reaches, makes the grab. A nice play on the run. Two up and 2 down for Taylor. It all comes down to Joe Burke. See if he can spark an 11-run comeback down to their last out here in the bottom of the 9th. Burke is 0 for 3 today. Ground out back in the 2nd inning. Strikeout in the 4th, strikeout in the 7th, both swinging. Slider inside, strike 1. Burke doesn't like the call. That left side of the plate with Keon's slider has been getting called for a strike tonight. Outside. Tonight is Taylor's 20th appearance. He did make a start. That was last week. Didn't quite go as planned for the Unicorns. Got hit around a little bit. Burke fouls that one off his foot. For the longest time this year, had an ERA below 1. Now with a couple runs in that start, it's up to 2.6. Near 30 innings of work, 27 2/3 before tonight. Doesn't give up a lot of contact. What contact he does give up is soft. Obviously with that sidearm angle in the top 5 and all the advanced categories that matter, zone percent of pitches, strike percent, gets a bunch of swing and miss as well. Down to their last strike, the 1-2. Swing and a miss. No, he tipped it. Burke stays alive for one more. Right-handed batters obviously struggle more against Keon than left-handers. Just a 164 average for the righties and 61 at-bats for Taylor. Popped up again. Slider has been his main strikeout pitch. 26 at-bats. 13 of those have resulted in a strikeout with the slider. 1-2 again. Burke stayed alive again. That one might have been off his foot for the second time this at-bat. He takes a long walk over towards the Unicorns dugout. An extra breath. Good fight from Burke here, 1-2. But he'll see at least 7 in this at-bat. Again, that one's way inside. I think Burke got out of the way. Jeremy referenced it. The hit batters have been an issue for Keon this season. And after 7 pitches, it's just 2-2, and boy, Burke looks exhausted right now. Talked about that last start for Keon. That came just under a week ago on August 4th. Only went 3 innings, gave up 5 hits and 4 runs. This one's out to left and a base hit for Joe Burke. Good to see that, a long at bat. Fought some pitches off his foot, nearly got hit, dove out of the way, and after all of that, he muscles a single out to left field, his first of the day. That'll bring up Marcoux, who's 0 for 2 plus a walk. Way outside with the slider. 1-0. Marcoux, one of the best hard-hit batters in the league. Second among all hitters in average exit velocity off of his bat. Sinker in for a strike. Does have one off the bat this season at 112. 1-1, another sinker dotted on the bottom outside corner for strike 2. And again, the Hoppers facing their last strike. It was an 8-run 8th that did them in here tonight. Swing and a miss. Taylor closes it out. And your final, the Unicorns 11, the Hoppers nothing. It was a good game all the way up until that 8th inning. 2-0 for the longest time. The Unicorns got 2 scattered runs, one in the first and one in the second. Each team both had just 1 hit apiece all the way up until the 7th. And then the Unicorns got a few, and then in the 8th was the time they first got their second hit, and that's when it went in. 8 runs came across, 13 batters in your final. The Unicorns 11, the Hoppers nothing. Stick around for the Detroit Mercy post-game show. Our interview with Drew Galassi awaits.
If I hit a home run, then you know what's going out of the park. Yeah, bases loaded, we ain't letting up. Scoring back to back, you can count it up. United we stand together, divided we fall. Ain't no turning back, we done came too far to turn around and have a seat now. We don't compare, cause we unicorn. Illuminate the dark with my uniform. Every time you see me stand up and salute me. It ain't no competition, not even from you. If I hit a home run, then you know what's going out of the park. Yeah, bases loaded, we ain't letting up. Scoring back to back, you can count it up. United we stand together, divided we fall. Ain't no turning back, we done came too far to turn around and have a seat now. We don't compare, cause we unicorns. Illuminate the dark with my uniform. Every time you see me stand up and salute me. It ain't no competition, not even from you.
Get great seats, safer, simpler, and smarter with TicketSmarter. Choose great seats from over 125,000 live events, all backed with a TicketSmarter 100% ticket guarantee. Get your tickets smarter at ticketsmarter.com.
We joined GreenPath and instantly felt a support around us.
They developed a plan on paper, and this is how we're going to do it.
The plan that they gave me was something that was sustainable. It was something I could do. It was actually lowering my payments monthly by hundreds of dollars.
Choosing GreenPath is a no-brainer.
Companies are competing for talent like never before. With the complexities of handling tasks like payroll, benefits administration, and other HR functions, it's easy to see how a professional employer organization like Tryon Solutions makes all the difference. Tryon empowers businesses of all sizes to attract and retain talent by offering access to top-tier healthcare and employee benefit plans. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Throughout your life, from big moments to ones well-earned, We're your financial guardian angel. Alliance Catholic Credit Union.
As your neighbor who works at Ascension, Michigan, and a cardiologist who's practiced for more than 20 years, I'm going to keep asking, how are you feeling today? Your care can't wait. Getting care sooner can mean catching things before they get worse. At Ascension, Michigan, our ERs and our hospitals and other sites of care are maintaining strict precautions for your safety. Studies have shown that people will get care sooner if they're encouraged by their doctors, family, and friends. Get the care you need at getascensionmichigancare.com.
Get great seats, safer, simpler, and smarter with TicketSmarter. Choose great seats from over 125,000 live events, all backed with a TicketSmarter 100% ticket guarantee. Get your tickets smarter at ticketsmarter.com.
All right, folks, who wants some free food? All you have to do is take a quick survey and receive a free $5 food voucher redeemable today at any concession stand here at the ballpark. The team at the Macomb County Health Department, our nationally accredited team, is looking for your feedback on the health of our community. The results will help them implement informed health strategies based upon your input. So become part of the team. Take a quick survey at our kiosk located on the main concourse and immediately receive a $5 food voucher. Together, we can keep our community healthy. So thank you for visiting Jimmy John Stadium, and let's enjoy the game.
Well, what a win for the Utica Unicorns here today. 11-0 your final score. Huge 8-run eighth inning where they collected 6 hits, a walk, 2 walks actually, and an error, and a big grand slam to right field. 1 of 2 home runs here today for Drew Galassi. He is now 9 on the season. Has really started to hit the long ball a bit more as this season has gone on. When you look at what this bullpen did, and really the starter for the Utica Unicorns today, that's kind of overshadowed by what the offense was able to do in that 1 inning. This game was 2-0 for the longest of times. Drew Galassi had the winning run of sorts in the first inning as well, a home run to the same field, more right down the line to the pole side in the foul pole. That gave him a 1-0 lead. Added another run off a leadoff walk in the second. And then both of these bullpens dueled for a bit, but you talk about Montaner here today. He went 3 perfect innings, struck out 3 here today. Got some nice contact and some good plays from Attilas at shortstop as well. Bewley, Calipetro, Rodriguez, Camacho, and Taylor all doing a fantastic job following him here today. They used 7 overall arms in what was an effort that with just 3 hits by this Diamond Hopper squad. As our Detroit Mercy postgame show continues, Brendan will catch up with our Lombardo Homes player of the game when we get back on the USPBL Network.
Dunham Sports is a proud partner of the USPBL. Big names, low prices, delivering value since 1937.
At Fifth Third Bank, we're working hard to make banking a Fifth Third better, which means we put 166.7% into everything we do.
I think you can only give 110%.
Well, with free checking, fraud protection services, and an automatic savings tool to help you quickly reach your goals, 166.7% is possible.
Oh, wait till my 8th graders hear about this. They're gonna be like, it's not possible. Well, yes it is.
This is banking, a Fifth Third better.
There are many things you can rely on in this world, like a sunny day brightening your mood, your mom baking the world's best apple pie, and never a dull moment in running your business. And when it comes to time-consuming HR tasks, you can rely on Tryon. Tryon can handle payroll and taxes, employee benefits, and more, so you can stay focused on attracting and retaining the best talent. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Guy with 5 RBIs in the Grand Slam that kind of broke it open there in the 8th. But Drew, I got some numbers for you that I just want to throw at you first and get your reaction. 3 home runs in as many games, going back to the doubleheader on Saturday. Clutch ones too. The Grand Slam today in the 8th that really breaks the game open. A 2-run shot in the 6th, and the doubleheader that gave you guys the lead in that game that you eventually won. A walk-off hit in that game as well. Made SportsCenter top 10. So it's been quite the week for you. But I want to talk about your last 10 also. In your last 10 games, 14 hits, 17 RBIs. How does that feel?
I didn't even know that. It's honestly really cool, and I'm glad to see that the work that I've been putting in and kind of taking a lot of pressure off myself has really given me the stats that I've been looking for all year. So that's awesome to know.
And we've talked about it all year long. You've been good. There really hasn't been a slump for you. But what changed to kind of rocket you to where you've been lately?
Just really cleared my mind in the box. A lot of guys go up there with an approach looking for certain pitches. I try that, and then I get overthinking. And honestly, what works best is not a single thought going through my head other than see ball, hit ball, and seems to be paying off right now.
And you're one of the guys who stays with the host family here. A few players in the league do that. And your host parents did come up and tell me that you were able to sneak back home for a weekend a few weeks ago, and they attributed your success lately to that. What do you have to say?
I think that definitely helped. You know, being in a relationship kind of gets you thinking about that stuff, and once you have those kind of stress factors, that could affect the playing how you do. So I saw my opportunity. I went home, spent time with family, with my loved ones, and now just back to relax and just playing the game that I love. So it's pretty cool that that actually made a difference for me.
Well, it certainly worked tonight. Looked like you guys had some fun. Looked like you're having some fun lately. Good to see. Great game, Drew. Thanks for being with us. Our Detroit Mercy player of the game, Drew Galassi, 2 home runs, a grand slam, 5 RBIs total. Unicorns win this one 11-0. For my partner, Jeremy Otto, I'm Brendan Shabath. Thank you for joining us.